Episode 82 of From the Sidelines. We are going to jump right on into this. What is up, guys? What is going on? How are we doing out there tonight? A little round of applause jumping on in. Excited to be back in the show. We had a great show with Dan Napoli last week. If you guys haven't listened to that yet, I would recommend going to check it out. We have another awesome guest for you guys tonight. We're going to bring him in just a few short minutes. But here are our hosts that we got here every single week. Steven Hatch, you're right above me tonight. What's going on, man?
We're here, dude. Episode 82. And I'm excited. The off-season is coming to a close, and I cannot wait to be playing on the NXL circuit again.
It's coming quick. A couple short weeks here, and we'll be in Vegas, man. It's going to be exciting. We got the Summit Awards out there. We got the first NXL event. There's a lot of cool things going down there. Let's bring in our other host, Brando Baird. How you doing up there, buddy?
What's up, everyone? We're back. It's been it was another long week, leading up to this. I felt like it dragged on again, but you got to feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Let's go, boys.
Feel the rush.
Podcast time.
It's pump sled time. All right, I went a different place with that, but I respect the reference for sure. Well, let's go ahead. Let's get our formalities out of the way, guys. We got to talk about our sponsors that we have for the show. Let's start from the bottom this time. Let's go reverse order. weltsclothingco.com. You could head over there, grab some of their awesome apparel. They've got some new drops that just came out on the site for the beginning of the 2024 season. Let's go check that out. weltsclothing.com. Use code FTS. You'll save a little bit of money when you're checking out over there. We also have NECTR Energy, NECTR.energy. Awesome little energy pouch you can throw in if you need to get some energy on the go. It's a great little clean caffeine and neurotropic source. So you can go check out more information at NECTR.energy. We'll talk about them more later on as well. Promo code over there is MafiaProductions, all one word. You're going to get a buy two, get one free. So might as well, if you're going to be checking it out, use that promo code MafiaProductions. Go check that out at NECTR.energy. And last but not least, we got Liquid IV. I tricked Brandon out. He was ready to make it. He's sitting over there waiting now, but he's grabbing one tonight. What's the flavor of the night? What's the
lemon lime? We're going with lemon lime.
Going back to lemon lime again.
Refreshing.
Not changing it up this week, but he got a couple of those big pouches over there, which you can check out at liquidiv.com. Grab some for yourself. Stay hydrated at the field, in your daily life, whatever you need it for. It's an awesome little tool. We use it all the time. Shout out to them over at liquidiv.com. Use code Mafia_Moffitt. You're going to save 15% and get, or 20% on that one. I was wrong, 20%, and get free shipping over there. So head over liquidiv, use code Mafia_Moffitt. Awesome. Well, that's all the formalities, all the things we got to go through at the top of each show. Let's go ahead, bring in our guest for tonight. He's former pro player. He's staying in the game, which is awesome because sometimes, you do see players who maybe they come down, come up, and, then they kind of disappear. You don't see him as much anymore.
Fizzle out.
But it is great to see that he is staying in the game. He has taken a position with a semi-pro team for this year, and we're going to, have him get into that a little bit. But he's been on the show before. He's a friend of the show. He's a friend of us in the Northern California area. He's an awesome guy, and we're happy to have him back on tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Boyum, how are you doing, man? Welcome back on to From the Sideline.
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you guys bringing me back on. I know we haven't seen each other in a while just because, off season's crazy, but I'm sure we'll be seeing each other quite a bit this year. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
I feel like it's been the longest gap since Rebirth almost. I'm used to being in that living room you're sitting in and hanging out with you guys, but it's been a while since that. The off season's been taking everything, and even last year when you took the part on Ironman, it kind of took you to separate practices, separate fields for different things. So it's it'll be cool to potentially maybe see you around a little bit more this year. That would be awesome, but we'll see what happens. So let's jump into it, man. Playing with a new team this year, if you want to kind of introduce that and maybe how that transition happened.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, I wasn't even sure I was going to be playing paintball anymore, kind of like what you had mentioned. And the off season was kind of going by, and we'll get into the details as to how that all happened. But, I'd actually reached out to a few teams, and then I was talking with one of my old teammates, Ben Challenger, on the side.
Good guy.
And it just kind of came up, hey, how to work if, we became teammates again. And then, I talked to some other familiar faces on that team that are in charge, and they were willing to bring me on, the whole team. It sounds like they were willing to bring me on, so I was pretty excited for that. Because that's what I want. I want to be with a team that wants me to be a part of the team. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and filling in that
Hell
gap
yeah.
for anyone out there who doesn't know, it's Ology. So based out of the Pacific Northwest, I would say. I'm not too sure what you guys claim is your home field for that team.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go practice with them this weekend up in Washington at KC Crusaders. There's going to be a big scrimmage weekend there. I think some of the Map Chim and his boys are going to be out there, and I think Seattle Cartel and a couple other teams. So we're going to get a good grinding up there, and I'll get to know my new teammates because I haven't really met them in person yet, other than the guys I already know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Team Ology, they're from Oregon. I think all of them are local. I'm the only person that is out of state, well, out of the region, because you got one guy that lives in Washington and the rest are from Oregon, from what I understand, Portland area.
Okay. So yeah, all that Pacific Northwest, and then one NorCal boy coming on in.
They're just kind of up there. Yeah, I feel like Pacific Northwest. Anything above California, it's just
yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I will say though, I mean, you kind of said there, Ben, that's one of your former teammates, Josh Halberg as well. It's kind of almost that 2019 semi-pro line coming back a little bit, not all the way, not fully, but there's a couple of those spots there.
Yeah. It kind of feels like that a little bit, but more just, kind of being around guys that have a different perspective of the game, and, their goals align with my goals. So I felt like it was just a good fit. And at first it actually wasn't going to happen. And then after some, talking to those guys a little bit more, it ended up figuring itself out. So
awesome. And
Nice,
it's kind of, It's funny the timing of this recording, because as the moment there's a lot going on with Ology in particular, and kind of the whole paintball spotlight with everything. We'll definitely talk about that a little bit here, but we set this up a couple weeks ago, and it's kind of funny to see the placement of now. All right, Jordan's going to be jumping onto that line that we've now kind of seen in the presses a lot, and it's gotten a lot of front attention. Yeah, we got the ex-girlfriend cameo in the background.
Oh yeah.
She is an ex-girlfriend now, technically. So yeah, congrats on that, by the way, man.
For a reason, I'm sure.
We're in the club.
Hold on, I'm killing a spider right now. So hold on, where's it?
Oh, well, good timing.
That ain't a tarantula. Hold on a second.
This is what he's got to deal with at home, ladies and gentlemen. He's a busy man, on and off the field.
This ain't nothing.
Hey, that's a bigger man than me, though.
He's got it.
I'm not
live on the show.
We got it, bro. Look at that, kill one already.
Helldivers gameplay.
Early in the
Helldivers
season.
gameplay.
Helldivers gameplay. That's a good one, Hatch. But yeah, man. So I mean, it's it was kind of funny that this ended up working out. Like you said, you're obviously going to meet them. This is your first practice with the team this weekend. What do you know much about the team? Like, obviously, some of the guys, but what all is your what is known from your side at this point?
All right, so the only thing I really know is Tyler Smith. He used to actually be in Northern California, and he played on DMG, so he was part of one of the original DMG players.
Red jersey DMG.
Yeah,
old school.
They've had all their variations, but he's kind of OG to that. And then I think he moved up to Oregon, maybe quite a few years ago, and I think he started his own business. And I'm not sure exactly on the details. I just know it's called like Lumni Labs or something. I think they manufacture some type of, I don't know, it's like CBD or some type of health.
Yeah, Joe's actually
exactly sure.
Joe reached out to us to talk about it on the show, and that never came through. But it does, it's a CBD hemp based Delta 8 or 9 or whatever the rule is. But yeah, it's one of those THC kind of hemp based products.
The cool thing is, what I do know about him is, Tyler obviously is involved with paintball. I think his kids are in paintball now, and
awesome.
I kind of like the way he handles his business. I know a lot of people don't necessarily agree with it, and just kind of the way he is, but he's very straightforward, which is how I am. Mm-hmm. So I like, the way he is about how he handles his business. So I'm excited for that, because I always liked Tyler, and so I do look forward to being around that. But it sounds like his business got pretty successful, and he's able to give back, and I know he's involved with paintball through it. and I'm not sure, they sponsor the team so much. I think some of the guys on the team work for the company. I'm not exactly sure, honestly, but they're involved, and I think it's a good thing. And Tyler's very involved with the sport, so if you're that involved and you got your kids in it, then I consider you somewhat of an ambassador at some point, at some level, because you're growing the sport because you got the youth involved, so that's huge. And I think he does a lot for helping out with Thomas Taylor and their kids and stuff. So it seems like a pretty good deal up where they got. So I'm excited for that. So I think it's Lumni. Is it Lumni? I think
Lumi. I think Lumi. Yeah.
Lumni. Yeah, and I think Joe Baird's working over there now, and Josh Hallberg, another big piece of that. I think he's a business partner with Tyler. So knowing all those guys and now getting to play with Josh and all them again, dude, I'm excited. I think the team's actually going to be pretty strong. And the other players on the team, they have some experience as well. And I mean, trust me, I watched a lot of footage of them. There's a lot of it online on YouTube.
The funny thing to me with the Ology roster, you guys are like a half of a pro roster, essentially. Like, there's a lot of dudes on that team who are current NXL pro level talent who just maybe weren't able to find their spot on a roster, or their team got pushed down, which happened to you, and then it starts the whole everything that happens from there.
Well, yeah, and everyone takes their own path, and if you want to get into the whole not being pro anymore thing, we can get into that, but hold on a second. I'm sorry, guys.
Cooper's going off.
Cooper never. So, everyone has kids and stuff, and dude, I'd love to have kids someday, but this dog needs to not exist when that happens.
Yeah, right? if you guys don't know, freaking, is it a terrier of some type, right? I forget what breed of dog he is, but...
no, it's a cattle dog, man. It's a Queensland Heeler.
Oh.
Yeah, so he just has nonstop energy. He's a crazy dude. I've met him a couple times.
He's a nutball, man. He's something else for sure. Constant attention. But anyways, I'm going to meet all the guys this weekend, and they're very committed. They play every single weekend. I think a lot of times, I've been in the group chat for a few weeks, and they're, double days all the time. They're grinding. And that's honestly what I want to be a part of, because it's, being on Ironman, it wasn't quite like that. And I wasn't confident that, some of the teammates were putting in the same level of work as, some of the others, and at pro level, you need that across the board. And I think that was a piece of why the Ironman weren't successful and why some of the changes were made. But it's deeper and it's a big story, but we're here now. I'm gonna play semi-pro. I'll get to see Hatch a bunch, and I'm taking the hard road, man. My plan is to get back into pro, but I'm gonna spend this year refining some of my skills, trying to contribute to this team and help them be more competitive. And they want to go pro, and so that's the goal, and we'll just start there.
Mm-hmm. No,
it's, man.
I mean, it's. It depends on you, because I know that whole Ironman aftershock, everything that happened with Dye and all that behind the scenes this offseason was a lot. There was a lot that happened there behind closed doors. So obviously, feel free to discuss whatever level you feel comfortable with. But I mean, was it more your decision to walk away from the Ironman, or did you not necessarily have a chance to come back this year?
I had zero chance. So basically around Thanksgiving, I was... After World Cup, I was told to expect a phone call at some point, kind of validating where I stand with the team. You're supposed to make a call to every player, and I never got a call. And I was like, okay, well, that's not good. That's not a good sign, But I've never been one of those people that puts myself out there or like pushes my way into the front type of thing. So I just, hey, man, doing the off-season thing, spending time with the family, handling work, doing all the other stuff that we do, right? And then I had reached out to some of my old teammates, and I was like, hey, man, like, have you heard anything? And one of the guys was like, dude, I've been talking to Billy, like, if you have any questions, you should just call him but you should be good. So I was like, oh, all right, well, let me just go straight to the horse's mouth, right? And just call Billy up. And, Billy picked up the phone, and we had our discussion, which I won't get into details about, but it was overall a positive discussion, and it pretty much reaffirmed me that my spot was solidified on the team and for 2024. And it was like, all right, man, let's get to work. I knew the things that I needed to get better at, and that's just kind of where it was. Mm-hmm. And I was excited for it because I felt like there was a lot of missed opportunity in 2023, and it was just kind of a disaster and a lot of dysfunction. But it is what it is. The season was over. It was a wash. Let's get on to next year, and I'm looking for greener pastures, right? And so, then getting through the winter, started hearing about some of these moves that are being made, and then a couple guys got added into the group chat, and I'm like, well, this is kind of weird, what's going on here? What's going on here, dude? Like, I'm not really quite sure, but me just trying to be a good teammate and supportive. I'm like, all right, cool, just getting excited for some of these new pickups and getting ready to figure out when we're going to start practicing. And then Shane Pistana called. Well, actually, the night before I got cut, I had found out that Nick Sloyak got cut, and that was surprising to me because Absolutely. I felt like, and I was like, man, if Sloyak got cut, nobody's safe. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because he was like he worked for Dye. He's like a factory player.
I will say, I think by this time they knew the Aftershock thing was happening, like Dye internally 100%. Did. So it was kind of like they knew he was staying in a Dye team. So yeah.
I feel like the chips were all moved long before Billy, like maybe slightly after Billy and I's conversation. I think that's when everything kind of got decided, because it was my understanding, and I didn't even talk to Shane in between that. And even he was like, no, you're good, dude. Like, let's go, dude. When I told you what I told you, like, we're 100% in. So it was just kind of funny. And that's how you saw me out Capitol Edge that weekend. I was getting ready to get back into it. And, I had all the Dye stuff on.
Yeah, I was going to say, full Dye man out there. Yeah.
Feeling good about things and getting ready for the season and stuff. And then I got a call from Shane. I was actually supposed to meet up with him. And then he called me and he's like, got the roster and you're not on it. And, I was a little upset about it, just because I felt like I didn't really get it was just, man, the one thing I'll say is that situation was hard for anybody to succeed.
I can kind of imagine.
I can definitely see why.
Yeah.
I put that on the management, and I put that on the coaching, and then I put a little bit of accountability on the players themselves, because it takes a team effort to be successful. So you got to look at that, right? And there was not one moment throughout the whole season where 5 guys wanted to become a team. And that's very difficult for anybody to succeed. So if anything, what I did take away from that experience is what not to do. And that's how I kind of look at it. It's like, all right, man, that sucked. That was not fun. But I pushed through it, and I felt like I actually still deserved a spot on the team. And going back and looking at matches and watching matches, because I'm the only player on that team that's not pro anymore. If you look, and you go back,
I don't agree with that fully, but
I was watching some of those matches. Well, the Thunder guys, they kind of walked away. I think they kind of knew some things, but I don't know. I don't want to speak for them, so it is what it is. But
of course,
they got live stuff going on too. But anyways, I went back, watched matches, and I was pretty upset for a little bit, man. I was ready to just, forget all this. This is ridiculous, man. It's political. I was blaming other things. I was taking accountability for myself too. I talked to my brother, who's probably been my best mentor. And he's like, hey,
he was in that situation a little bit too. He would be the person who knows better than anyone.
Yeah, he's going to give me the best, most truest answer. And honestly, him and I spent a lot of time together. And he's like, you weren't undeniable. And so if you're not undeniable, then how do you expect someone to see you? And I totally understood that. And I was like, man, you're right. Whether I outplayed players that were on the team or are currently on other teams, which I felt like I did throughout almost the entire season, and a lot of moments, maybe not necessarily always at the tournaments because I didn't get the opportunities, but practices, bro, come on now. Like, I mean,
Talking practice?
everyone makes mistakes, but dude, I was putting in the work, bro. Like I was treating it like a professional sport.
Yeah, I need to. I want to step in
We're
here
at
a
that
little
level
bit
too,
because
you know?
Jordan, I feel like in your pro career, you've always been slept on.
I completely agree.
Being,
I feel that way.
I'm a little
Yeah.
biased. I've, obviously filming Rebirth, I spent an exorbitant amount of time with that DMG lineup, and every time no one would ever talk about Jordan Boyum, and that always bit me because if you watch the gameplay footage, if you watch who's left alive, who's survivability, who's doing jobs out there, a lot of the times on that squad, on other squads you've been on since, it's been you. But you also are a calm professional. You don't have huge emotional outbursts. You hold it very close to your chest, and you play a very strategic and logical method. And I think some people take that as you don't care when it's not. It's just that's how you play the game. It's very analytical and it's to the point. It's not emotional and huge, but
Precise and focused.
That's a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
the way that I've seen you, Jay. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Let's hear it.
So the way that I've seen it, J-Bo, is like obviously I've been in your guys' pits a lot when you guys were on DMG. I felt like there were a lot of situations where the plan revolved around something certain, and then so someone would be a little flip flopper, right? Look the wrong angle, something would happen. A guy goes down, shoots a couple guys, and then a lot of that like weight kind of fell upon you. It looked like always looked like you took it like extra hard on yourself because you weren't that emotional, right? You just looked always like you were just taking the weight directly on you. So that's just one thing that I noticed.
I don't fully get what you mean there, but
okay.
I understand what you mean because it's true. I think a lot of times there was times where I think I took accountability for other people's mistakes unnecessarily.
That's kind of what I meant to say.
And it's like, man, it's one thing to be a good teammate, but sometimes it's almost counterproductive because you're enabling your teammate to not be part of the team by saying that, like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. Well, it's like, well, maybe just go to your teammate and be a real teammate and be like, hey, man, like, what could I have done to help you? Or, maybe give him some criticism and be like, hey, you know what, maybe I think you should have done this. And believing in myself a little bit more and having more of that confidence like we've talked about in the past to provide that leadership that, even on Ironman, I think that I feel like I had a lot more to offer that and that was one of the things that Billy even said was like, man, I'd like to see you speak up more, and some of the coaches were like, I'd like to see you speak up more because you're actually pretty damn smart at this thing, but I don't say shit because honestly, I thought I was just doing what I was asked to be a soldier. Right. And I was trying to transition away from taking so much accountability, like over calculating that, and taking too much on. I was trying to simplify it and just do my job and not worry about the other variables. And I obviously both ways wasn't the correct way, right? Because now I'm here, I'm not pro, and I'm going to have to take the hard path back. But I truly believe that I have enough talent that I can get back there. I think that I just need to work really hard and prove to myself and this team that I'm going to run with that, what it takes to get to the top. Because, I've almost been there before. So I know what it takes.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for me this year because now I have two teams in semi-pro that like I genuinely want to do good. Like it kind of sucks because it's like my old school DMG boys versus my new school DMG boys and my fellow hosts of the podcast. So yeah, it's going to be a hard one for me to watch that division all year pretty much. I hope you guys don't play each other too much. It will be fun for sure.
Play each other a lot. I hope we do play each other a lot.
I hope we do, man.
It'll be reminiscent of 2020 practices.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoy shooting match. So
your gun would it'd be nice to shoot you with your own gun, J-Bo.
That is true. There's the ability to do that.
Well, dude, I'm
you better hope you're alive at the end of the game. Your only chance. Maybe a trade out.
Maybe a trade out. This guy, dude. I'm excited. The thing is, I don't want it to end up like I was talking about the pre-show about how when we had Colt LaCow on the last preseason, how I was like, dude, I want to play you guys so bad. Didn't even get a single match, bro. Like, what the hell? So now I kind of don't really want to put that juju out there, but I literally just did. So
Those guys set the bar, man. I didn't play semi-pro last year, but man, those guys, oh crap! I don't know if anyone can outdo that season.
yeah,
I don't think this season's going to be like that. I don't think there's going to be one team just running
I
amok.
don't think so either.
No,
Nah,
I think
it's
we'll
gonna
see a
be
little more
mix.
parity between the teams. Yeah.
I would agree.
I think it's going to be like 5 or 6 teams fighting it out at the end.
I agree, and I think realistically, it's going to come down to the
Who has a
double
better
points
World Cup? Yeah, I think
Yep,
that's
the
kind of
double
how this
points is
season's
gonna
going
be
to
I
end.
hope that's not what
Big,
it comes
big
down
thing.
to, but when the pressure's on, the best are going to rise.
I
Yeah,
think it's
so-
all, but it more so talks about the closeness of the division this year, if that makes sense. Like I think a couple different teams will win events, so it'll come down to who shows out the best at the end of the season, that last tournament, to see who kind of takes the spot.
I was kind of thinking about that theory, but you kind of got to look at the teams, right? And there's a lot of teams in semi-pro that I'm aware of.
Maxed out, yeah.
Yeah,
It's maxed out. It's sold out.
Yeah.
30 teams for Vegas. Yeah,
Holy shit! I mean, holy crap! Well, you're allowed to say
because
shit
you're
on here?
yeah,
Absolutely,
you're fine.
J-Bo.
All right, my bad. All right, so
Don't have to use one of
30
these.
teams. I didn't look at the rosters, but I'm sure some team. I know there's some teams stacking.
For
But
sure.
the thing is, it's all about teamwork, man. It ain't about having the best players. And you can use Diesel, you can use Art Chaos, you can use all these other teams that have stacked up. And it's the teamwork, man. It's the teamwork that matters. Bad players that work
Chemistry.
together can beat a good team with good players that don't work together.
No, I mean,
That's a good point.
100%. I think that's why, like, I don't always love shouting them out, but shout out to Wrecking Crew. The reason why I think they just completely stepped up from D3 to D2 and now they're competing in semi-pro this year is because they had that teamwork and they bought in. Whatever you think of that team, they all at least agree, hey, there's one plan, we're going to try to follow that plan. And it's worked for them so far. We'll see what happens this year. We'll see what their talent level is. We'll see kind of what's going on. But I think they have all bought in, and that's, a good example of that, at least.
They got really good structure, and that's, as a coach, because I'm coaching this year too. And, I try to tell these teams, like, the value in a good coach, it provides structure to the team. And it creates that, third person unbiased opinion that can kind of lead and provide that structure that, a lot of these other semi-pro teams, from what I've heard of, is that these other teams, that's why Blast Camp and PB Fit were like just running the table, is they had the structure the other teams didn't, and it showed throughout the whole season because they had, the ability to practice more, practice better teams, have coaching all the way through, and they had just a more cohesive unit all the way through the season versus the other teams that, they're all just kind of chasing that whole foundation that they just hadn't achieved. So
I mean, if you want to draw
teams are doing it.
Parallel to past years, that the last team that did the crazy 4-0, almost ran the table and won every event was 2017 DMG, and they had a good structure in place. Their sparring opponent was top level Impact. They were playing the best of the best to see the layout before every single event. They had good structure in place from Dave and the Baines family, and that. The proof is in the pudding. Like, the results are shown from that. Obviously, there was a lot of very talented people on that team. But, having that structure kind of brings that to the next level. And PB Fit is even the better version of that.
Yeah. So should be fun. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
man.
fun.
So
I'm just looking forward to
I'm
playing.
excited to compete against everybody that, like, I've always looked up to, dude, when your idols become your rivals, I'm at that point now where I get to lay down the hate on people I truly love. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's for me, man. It's just respecting the opponent.
Exactly.
I know I'm good enough to compete with anybody out there. I've already proved that, but it's not about that anymore. It's about just respecting the game, respecting the opponents, doing everything I can to be the best for the team I'm playing for. And I will have my opportunities. I'm sure I will. And I'm just going to look into prosper on those ones. But for the most part, it's just teamwork.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is probably a good topic to get all your guys' opinion on because you'll all be playing in this year. But I mean, who do you guys think are those top 5 teams, if you're just trying to make a preseason ranking for semi-pro this year?
Well, I mean, You got to give it to newbies, right? They were at the top all year last year. I don't think they made a lot of changes. I think they lost Damian Vasquez because he's on Ironman now, but I think they picked up some other guys, so they should be pretty good. Leverage is going to be a good team.
They got
I think they got Ivan and Chris, plus they already were competitive without them.
Yep.
So I think those two guys, front guys are easier to plug in. Though.
Semi-pro is becoming the like ex-DMG line. God damn, I feel like all of these guys who just come up and now
they're spreading out
in all the semi-pro.
It just shows like the process of DMG because it's like, you do learn a lot in the camp, but the camp does teach you a lot about the game. And it shows with how successful a lot of those players are now.
Yeah. I'd expect you guys to be. I think you guys had 2 Sunday appearances.
1, but no one's counting.
One.
I feel like you guys had another one.
I feel like from a progression standpoint, they were a completely different team at World Cup than that first event. Like they still kind of looked like a D3 team at times during the first couple of events of the year, and I feel like towards the end of the year, okay, this is a semi-pro competent team. They almost beat Blast Camp. They made that a really very close and interesting game. They put up against GG. Like they had good matches and showed, all right, we're competitive. So I think seeing that if that progression extends, then yeah, they will be up there with a couple of those other teams that we've already named.
Mm-hmm. I think that.
I mean, you guys are young, but you guys will be there.
I think Wrecking Crew's gonna have a decent chance of doing good. They got.
You think so?
I think so.
They just jump right in there and
I think they're going to be a competitive team for sure.
I think they'll get socked in the mouth
for sure.
I think they'll get socked in the mouth the first couple of events, just as kind of like you have to remember that the average talent level every time you go up a division does raise. But they have such a good coaching and structure, like we just mentioned, that they'll be able to take those things from early events and be like, hey, this is what happened here, and learn and progress almost similarly to what I just mentioned with you guys last year.
Yeah, I think they'll be good for sure. I mean, didn't they win a bunch of D2 tournaments last year?
Yeah, I think it was basically between them, Shut Up We're Trying, and Dynamic. I think that was like the.
And I think all 3 of them are moving up.
Coming up.
I'm pretty sure all 3 of them.
All 3.
Well.
And I don't know anything about any of those players, but I mean, for them to consistently be in the finals every event, you're getting, and this is what I say to younger teams, is you're getting double the experience every single time. Because you're playing 4 prelim matches, then you're playing 3 to 4 Sunday matches. So you're getting double. You basically played 10 tournaments last year, not 5. So of course they're going to level up faster. They'll be ready. I think, they'll probably be in top 10. New York Wrecking Crew.
Yeah. No, I mean,
they bought in for sure. And
semi-pro is going to be a very competitive division this year. I truly believe, because I think the 2, quote unquote, the guys who were kind of the outliers at the top, well, they've now gone up, and so now it's kind of the best of the rest, plus all of these new faces from D2 that are kind of replenishing and bringing in new, hungry talent.
I like it. I like seeing people at the top of their game. Like, I don't want to play a team if they're, slacking, right? That's just boring.
That's why you loved playing the Misfits, bro, because it was a fight every time. It was a goddamn grudge match.
Misfits are good, bro. Those guys, it's too bad that they're not a team this year, because I got to practice against them before World Cup, them in Blast Camp, and dude, those teams are good. They were pretty good as a team.
I agree.
And their players, they had pretty good players too. I think they were definitely on the cusp, but ended a little early there.
With them?
I'm not sure.
No?
That would be a Marcelo question if you ever talk to him.
For sure. Going back to your squad over at Ology, we've obviously mentioned Ben, Tyler Smith, Josh. Are there any other former teammates, or is everyone else new at this point?
No, I was hoping Troy was still on the team, but apparently he's not on the team anymore.
Oh, that sucks. Shout out Erickson.
That would have been sweet.
Yeah,
I miss that guy. But Mr. Dutch, bro.
Best mustache in the game. I'm sorry, Hatch.
So this kid Mark, that his name's popping up a lot right now. He's kind of a integral part of the paintball season right now this year.
In the off season talk, sure.
Yeah, his name's out there right now. He actually tried out for DMG, I think. I think for the pro team when I was on the pro team.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I've seen him before. I feel like I've met him one time, but That I wasn't his teammate, but other than that, all these guys I've literally never really met.
Yeah,
in
so
person.
you'll meet this weekend.
I've heard their names, I've seen them around, but I have no idea who they are. So I'm excited to just get to know these dudes, figure out what they're all about.
So it's kind of half and half almost. It's a couple familiar faces, and then got to go meet and learn how to work with some new set of guys.
That's probably better than what it was on the Ironmen. You didn't know any of those fuckers.
I didn't know them all, and everyone had egos and shit, man. I hated it. I hated that part of it. Like everyone thought that they were the top dog, and it's like, bro, you look around, unless you're on Dynasty winning tournaments, you're on the same level as me, bro. So put your ego aside, and let's figure out how to be a team and go whoop the crap, beat the crap out of these Dynasty dudes.
Yeah, there's only
that's kind of how it should be.
Teams in the past 4 years who've won a tournament. 4 teams maybe.
Honestly,
it's been Heat,
if I
Dynasty,
was on a pro team still,
Damage.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
And
that was
I think
always in the back of my mind.
Impact. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's kind of pathetic, man. Honestly, you can't tell me that there's not one team or a set of players that can figure out how to beat these other teams. I get it; they got 20 years of pro experience, but come on now. There's got to be a way.
Scott, we got to figure it out, man. We got to work hard enough to apply our thinking skills to the pro scene. That's what we got to work
Study. Keep watching them. Study them. Go watch them live. Break that shit down. Figure out a way to beat them. Find a hole. You have to.
If you're not watching film after say you're at the Airbnb, you know what I'm saying? You're not watching film of the event. Right after, dude, you are slacking, bro. If you're not
watching your own team play their matches, and you're not watching the matches of the teams you're gonna play, and you're not watching the matches of the teams that are the best, then you don't actually win the tournament.
I agree completely, dude.
So you might as well go play semi-pro.
I was gonna say, if you're in pro, you literally have no excuse. Go Sports broadcasts every single game, so it's you don't have I couldn't make it over there. Fuck, how did they do? Do you have the breakouts? You can't. You can't have that excuse. It's on your phone. Go watch it.
I wish we had that, dude, because on the semi-pro field, they were cutting our games up to where it's at Cup, we only got one game on the on the stream
broadcast again.
So that was kind of, whatever.
Better than nothing.
But exactly, better than nothing. But the thing is, right, we could pick and choose what matches, we could see who we were playing and who is the best, right? And we were just picking those matches to watch.
Yeah, but I always question, how many players are sitting there watching paintball or they're dissecting paintball while watching it? There's 2 different ways to do it, right? You can just watch it for the pure entertainment of the match, or you can really be, watching maybe the guy that's playing your spot and kind of dissecting what they're doing and why they're doing it, and that's how you're learning. And I wonder how many people are actually focus in and do it that way, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I see a lot of guys in the crowd and they're just watching.
I feel like there's a lot of people that just played in the background. I feel like that's the third option, right? The people who are even less than that.
That's a half-ass effort to me.
I agree.
Don't expect a win in the morning.
Agreed.
I don't know.
Very, very true.
Get up at 4:30 a.m. to go play at your 7 a.m. game. Shout out Cedar. I'm still gonna hold that against him, man. That was too early.
It's the way we do it, bro. It's the way we do it.
There's always one on every team.
It's just the way we've always
100% Cedar on DMG. Bro gets up way too early.
But the thing is, he makes sure he keeps us in line. And the thing is, with Cedar, he is that structure that J-Bo is talking about, right? He is that structure that keeps us on our fucking heels all the time.
He's all DMG has.
On our toes, that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. When you need lunch, ask Cedar. When you need new paint, ask Cedar. He'll get it for you.
He knows. He already knows. Exactly. Papa
Paint's not good enough. Go find me a new batch. Cedar, go run to the paint truck.
Cedar's the man, dude. Cedar is the man.
Cedar is a good dude, man.
And he really has gotten a lot better.
He's pretty nasty, bro. He's an underrated player.
I agree completely.
Cedar's shot me out a few
goofy
times.
Looking. I hate to say it. His form is very kind of goofy looking is the best adjective I have.
It used to be worse, and we made fun of him so bad.
Oh no, but he's still a good player.
Where he fixed it.
He'll fucking still shoot you out.
Definitely change people. Yeah.
This is why we honestly, dude.
Hot take, man.
Hot take. We need bring back bullying, bro. Hot take.
Bring back bullying. I don't think that's a hot take anymore. I think we're actually all in agreement that would be great.
It helps you out because nobody wants to look fucking goofy. Nobody wants to be like, ugh,
Well, so here's the thing: you're only as good as your worst, goofiest player. So you got to get him looking cool. Like I got Benny's gonna swag check me all year, dude. I will not look stupid on a paintball field.
Let's fucking go, dude.
And that's a real teammate right there. That's a brother. So Dylan's not here to
I don't
do
think
that. So
Ben
Challengers
gives a fuck what he looks like.
Oh,
I think
Ben
he just
cares.
goes up there and rocks
No,
it, bro.
Ben cares. No. When we were semi-pro before, he was always, J-Bo, you got to fix your headband, bro. looking a little weird, you know, and I'll fix it up, or he'll fix it up for me, and then go out there and we smash.
Ben wears head capes, all right? I don't want to hear anything about ag or style.
I might throw a head cape on too.
What's going on?
You know?
Come on, you guys have fallen so far. Headbands, not capes. Come on.
I don't want my teammate out there feeling weird about it. You know, got to support the brother.
Would you ever rock a balaclava, J-Bo?
No, because you can't breathe in that thing, bro. Why would you ever wear that?
Just straight up look like a murderer.
And you look like a Teletubby. You look like a Teletubby.
Not even close, bro. I'm like maybe like the Teletubby after the weight loss surgery. Maybe
you look like okay. Well,
the Teletubby that's been on heroin.
You know what? Wear a purple one at the tournament for to match DMG.
Well, dude, then that's a fucking beacon on my head for you to snipe. Nice try, buddy. Nice try.
Nice try.
I
mean, but it's even worse, bro. If you get snapped out and run down by a Teletubby at an NXL event, I feel like
that's mentally degrading. Yeah,
it
remember,
really
I'm the
is.
Teletubby in this situation, J-Bo. You better not get shot by me. I'm the Teletubby in this situation.
I'll wipe that shit so quick.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is why people are going to be watching Ology DMG games if that does happen. Like, why are they shooting each other so much? It's like they both know they'll cheat. Like, they know they got to put 40 on everyone.
I would never overshoot J-Bo. Ever. You can even ask, when have I ever overshot
done it in
J-Bo?
practice, bro.
It, to be honest. Yeah, I probably deserve it.
I've never overshot J-Bo. I've always respected him, you know?
You know, I still respect you, but I'll put 10 in your neck. It's all good.
All right. Fair's game.
Know, I'll get you an ice pack after the match.
See, and I think that shows the difference. That shows the difference in mentality between a guy who's played on the pro ranks and someone who hasn't yet. It's not personal. I just need to make sure you're not gonna wipe this motherfucking paint off. So I need to put 5 on you, or at least more, so that the ref's gonna see it as well.
The thing is, J-Bo, you better not let the fucking ref save you. You better not fucking let the ref save you, dude. Because if I get shoot more than 3 balls on a guy, I'm getting my whole fucking team pulled. No bullshit.
Really? That's how it is down there, huh?
It's
for Hatch. Only for Hatch.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, mostly for Hatch.
Hatch, I've been telling you for years that would come back to get you, and I was not wrong.
It's not even. I think it's. I haven't even been overshooting, and I still get them.
I started to defend him.
It's carried with you.
I've turned around. At the beginning of the last season, I didn't defend Hatch. Yeah. Now I actually do defend him a little more, because honestly, it's his hair. People see the hair, so they think he's doing extra shit or something. I don't fully get it.
Like, damn, look at this fucking rock star.
Yeah,
man,
I guess it's just
be humble and quiet about it.
It makes people look at you more. Whereas Silent Jordan over there, no one ever looks at him during a match. He's just holding his lane and then comes and stabs you and then all right, walks off.
Yep, that's what
I think. Part of paintball is fun to inflict pain on people. I honestly think that's part of why I enjoy it. I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, why do I like this shit so much? It's like, well, because when you bunker someone, it's just so gratifying.
I love bunkers. That's my favorite part.
You get into their 40 bunker and they don't know, and then you just go and just stitch up someone's back, a couple bunkers away. They got, caught them sleeping. Like that shit feels good.
They're watching the cross and all you have is some fucking love handles to shoot at. Oh, fuck yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
I think you two are bonding right now. You're getting closer over this.
Well, you have to remember, dude, J-Bo was one of those guys that throughout the camp, I was the guy that would study. He's the guy who would study, right? When I would be, when they would be practicing impact and they wouldn't fucking give us spins at all when we were on D3, we'd study. We would just watch. I would be sitting on the other side of the net and just watch.
I'm excited to play the middle again. I didn't get to do that on Ironman. I feel like I went pro playing the center, and then they're just like, you know what? I'm not going to play the center anymore.
You're going to be a 2.
You're going to play any spot but the center.
Yeah, so you're going to play a can and look straight up a whole event. You're going to do nothing but...
That was the worst fucking bunker, dude.
Hey,
I hated that shit.
On a one-on-one.
What's that, Axel?
Yeah, you beat Axel in a one-on-one.
Yeah, I was a dick about it too. I kind of...
Yeah, what was that? What was that like? I was like, fuck you, French guy. What was that?
I ain't going to repeat what I said, but it didn't need to be said.
You were feeling yourself a little bit.
That guy's so fucking cool, man. And honestly, he was always cool as hell to me out of Capital Edge, and then just, dude,
You just let it go.
That's one thing, dude. You don't talk shit when you're losing, bro. It just win the game, move on.
I remember watching that match back. You're like walking to the pits, and you're like, dude, I fucking hate Impact.
I do hate Impact.
Yeah,
they're so goddamn good.
I believe that.
Amen, dude.
I mean,
me too.
if you don't, dude, they're cool dudes. I like Trevor. I like Nick. I respect all those dudes. Tyler, he's a homie, but it's like, bro, they're good.
And I think
they're
it
good, and I
also
want to beat them. So I don't like them.
It also comes down to the fact that for like 3 or almost 4 years, you guys were their toy to mess with and figure out how to do a layout, and that's gonna build some resentment over time.
I have a scar on my neck. It's shaped in the number 8 from one of those practices, dude. It just never
those practices got heated.
I have a couple of those, bro. Not even gonna lie. The ones that just never heal.
They're just, my skin tone is like the pigment's gone.
It's like the white scar tissue. Yeah.
It is what it is, but yeah, I don't those guys got it too good over there, man. I want what they got, so I don't like them.
It's almost jealousy a little bit. You could say that.
Yeah, I texted
jealousy.
Tyler. I said, yo, I'm coming for everybody on that team's motherfucking spot. I texted him that.
Good. Yeah, you should. You should push for it. Work your ass off. Get up to Impact.
That's what I want, dude. That's the goal.
You can get there, dude.
Yeah.
I don't see Hatch fitting into Impact. I'm gonna be fully honest.
Why not, bro? Why not?
Maybe he's what they need.
Maybe, yeah, because I don't know. I just see you and Dave not agreeing on a lot of things. Like,
what are you talking about, dude? I'm a soldier.
No, but Hatch, I think you like playing a very aggressive style of paintball, and I think that's kind of, paintball's moving away from that a little bit at the top-ish level. There still are opportunities for it, and depending on the layout, sometimes you have to play that way. But, a lot of the time we're now seeing, these teams who are playing slower. I mean, damage paintball, I'm using air quotes, but that's been kind of the whole thing that happened in the last quarter of last year. But it's just teams, Dynasty won that way too, playing a couple of their events. It's just controlling ground and waiting for another team to almost make a mistake rather than making them make that mistake, going and getting up in there and causing that problem.
In this offseason, I've without a doubt been trying my best to play that style of paintball, without a doubt.
And if you could do both, you're the most dangerous, because that's what it is. If you know how to do everything, it's just figuring out the different aspects of the two.
The thing is,
Brandon Cornell's good at it.
Yeah,
he knows when to go and when not to go.
He is very, very good at it. Hate playing against that guy, but
you should love playing against that guy.
Only when he fucks me up. But
J-Bo,
then,
I have footage of him giving you a concussion, so that's a weird thing to say, because he's like, it was NXL, the Golden State event. You come up stumbling from that, and so that's
all
right.
Definitely not. It didn't feel too great there. I kind of lost, I remember that, but you don't think I would do it to him in a second?
No, that's true, but I don't know. That's weird then to go on the turn of phrase and say, I love playing that dude. Like, all right.
I do, because I'm playing against the best. So that's how I know that I'm at that level, is when I'm able to play against the best and bang with them.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited because we're playing against Impact this weekend. So
you guys are gonna get to play Impact this weekend?
Yeah. So
what about the following weekend?
I think we might be able to. So if I am correct, it's gonna be Infamous, Impact, Dynasty. If I am correct.
Yeah, Ryan announced it on Speak and Span, so they're coming.
That's a heavy set.
We're gonna try our best to work our way in there, but that's gonna be a hard schedule to get in.
I mean, D3 used to play those guys back in the day. You guys got a couple spins, not many, but there was a couple I remember seeing.
And let me tell you, that's one thing that I will always be grateful for Dave with, is when there were times where there would be like a break and they'd be like, they'd already have paint out there on the field. They'd be like, "Yo, jump in."
Yeah,
and sure, there'd be times when we would get our fucking asses clapped, but every 10 losses comes one dub, baby, and that's when we would learn a lot, right? Because Impact's so fucking good, is like, right, that first 30 seconds when you shoot a guy off the break and you can kind of capitalize off that shit's easy. The hard part is when you're 5 alive, on both sides, and then the game locks up. That's when it impacts talent really shows, and that's when they're the absolute best. Is when they're on 5-on-5 and they lock it up.
You're giving them too much time to talk and think about how to win the situation.
Exactly right.
But
Off the break is so important.
It's like giving them time, but it's taken us. It took us that much time to try to put something together. You know, it's.
I mean, it's really like I'm coaching
that skill gap.
I got some, and we can get into it, but I got some buddies that got back into paintball. I've been coaching them up, and they're going to be nasty this year in D3. But you know, I teach them, and it's some stuff that I learned from DMG, and it's some stuff I learned from Ironmen, right? So I've kind of now been in two different, you know, tracks, and I teach them, look, you guys need to learn and get used to playing aggressive so you can scale back when you need to. But if you never know how to play aggressive and you're never comfortable with it, then how are you going to know what to do when you get to those aggressive spots? And then if you make mistakes, you get shot and you make mistakes, that's okay, especially at practice. You should be going back and figuring out, okay, so what should I do next time I'm in that situation? And that's how those multi-layered game plans start to develop, right? Because you're like, all right, well, I can go here, I can get to this spot, you know, but what do I need to do to make this next move? Maybe it's using a teammate. Maybe it's, you know, getting a code to call for a zone or something, you know, whatever it is. But that's how that structure gets built and put into place as you start to master the layout. And I think a lot of teams just fail to do that. They just keep playing and playing and playing. It's like, all right, well, we're just throwing shit at a wall, dude.
I agree. That's a good thing to acknowledge. And to add on to that, another thing that I think is really good to acknowledge is when you win a point with individual skill, right? Not teamwork, right? Sure.
It may happen sometimes.
Right. And I think it does happen. And I think it's important to acknowledge where it's like, okay, we could have done this better. And some people get mad, like, oh, dude, we won the point. It's like, okay, but we could have done it better, right?
Yeah, you're not going to win a match off individual performances.
Exactly. And I think that's a huge.
In D5, you might. But
in D5,
every divisions.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Is every time you step up that ladder, I mean, you're not going to in D2 and above. You're just not.
You agree?
No, the teams they're too good at playing as a team. So you gotta, you know, you're gonna get one of those points where someone tees off, and you know it might get you up 1-0 or something. But you better be prepared on knowing what to do to handle that situation now that you're up a point.
Especially when they adjust.
Yeah, I'd expect them to. Yep.
It's like normal tit for tat, you know, chess not checkers.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So,
so let's you know, kind of jumping back to Ology a little bit. You know, like you said, you haven't met all the guys, but I think something that is, you know, obviously everyone's talking about it right now is CureGo and all of the sports betting and sports gambling stuff that has been brought in through one of your teammates. I mean, what do you know about that? Is there, you know, any information that you have about that, or is that, you know, same thing? You're still kind of waiting to meet him and see all that, or?
I'll find out more this weekend, but what I do know is that it's 100% legit, you know, because I know people get, you know, a little weary about gambling sometimes, but I do think it could be good for the sport. You know, I think I talked to you earlier. It could go one of two ways. Like, it can go really well for the sport, or it can just be kind of a thing that fizzles out. But I have a feeling that the people that got involved aren't going to let it fail.
Yeah, and
Mark's one of the guys that are involved, and he's very driven to not only become a pro paintball player, but to be more involved in the sport and possibly make some money playing paintball. And I think his brother, who I'm going to meet, is very supportive of that goal. And I think having that type of support is going to make it successful, and it will be a big part of the game.
Yeah, I think, you know, I have to say, first off, I've talked about it on the show. I like gambling. I'm a fan of putting my money down and hoping that I win more money based off that. I will say the one thing that kind of sucks with this, you know, first step is it is restricted in America. So you do have to use a VPN to use it within the continental United States.
I thought it was just because we were in California.
No, so that's I've had a lot of us in the media scene, since we've been kind of trying to figure out all this and, you know, all the rules and everything. So it is geo-locked out of the 50 states. If you use a VPN, you can get on, but I didn't tell you that information. So
pretty easy to set that up.
Yeah.
Especially on a phone.
It's one of those things that, that kind of sucks because that'll stop some people from going through, you know, because that's now a step that you have to take to get access to it. You know, but it does, you know, maybe eventually that's now a stat that Tom could bring to future other gambling organizations and say, hey, we have an offshore site that is doing this volume off our, you know, time here in Vegas. Does DraftKings, does Caesars, does MGM, do you guys want to get involved in now taking action on our sports? You know, we'll get it, you know, legalized and registered in the States. So yeah, I think it's a good step. I wish it was a little more easier to use, because I think that would be better if, you know, more people could use it without having to like kind of use a VPN and kind of skirt some legality a little bit. But yeah, I mean, look,
but there's a lot of, I mean, you got to think about, and sorry, but you got to think about how many people may already use Kirigo, right?
Oh.
And now they're going to start seeing paintball pop up as a betting marker, right? Like, hey, we can put bets on this.
For the international market, they're definitely, I mean, there'll be degenerates in Brazil who just put money down on the Ironmen, and they probably won't see the match. They won't know what's happening, but they just want action, and that'll be the game that's happening when they're trying to put their money down. I guarantee you that'll happen. How much that happens, I don't know yet. You know, will it be more than just a couple people? Will it be, you know, will all of a sudden Go Sports' site crash because everyone's like, oh shit, like that's how I go watch my game that I put money down on. I want to go over there. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And I think obviously as we get more data, you know, through the first couple of events, it'll be a better picture of, you know, what it all is going to look like. It's, you know, it's a good step. It's a little sketchy too, because this is something that the owner of Uprising, Jimmy, I forget his last name right now, but the owner
Hickey.
of
Hickey. Yeah, Jimmy Hickey.
Yeah. He talked about, he was gonna, because he's already been brought into the process and everything, and Uprising is obviously a part of it. And he was gonna start promoting it on the Instagram, but as he looked into terms of service, it is still against terms of service to promote offshore casinos, so stuff like Stake, Kirigo, Dual Bits, you know, these sites that are like this. So it is still kind of a fine line of, you know, I don't necessarily want to lose my Instagram account just to promote, you know, NXL gambling, to be fully honest. Like that is something that would be a worse loss for me than just, you know, not having it in the first place. So I guess that's still that's the line too, is, you know, it's a good first step. I don't hate it, and I want to make that clear out there, is like I don't have any problem with it. But, you know, eventually I think this will be a good step forward when 5 years from now we're all just using DraftKings on our phone, or, you know, whatever.
That's what I'm talking about.
Stuff that, you know, happens.
Possible. I mean, but we needed something to happen, right? This could kickstart it, and maybe it moves into something bigger. So you just got to stay positive about it and be optimistic. You know, glass half full. You know, I don't know Mark, but he seems like a pretty straight up dude, and I'm gonna meet him, and I'm excited to be his teammate. And I think that for him to take time to try to bring something to the sport, I mean, you have to respect that as being a passionate player of the game, right? Like,
of course.
I'm fully supportive of it, and it's cool that he's my teammate. It's like, dude, it's the guy behind this thing, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
it was funny timing with everything that's going on.
It is weird timing for sure, but, you know, maybe it was meant to happen. Maybe this is where I needed to be. Yeah,
well, paintball is a tiny world. I mean, the whole reason, you know, Mark and his brother are now involved in the sport is because, you know, they played it way back in the day. And it's funny that a lot of guys are kind of like that, where it's like, you know, I saw it on ESPN when I was 10, and now I went and did whatever this career was. And now I'm like, oh, paintball's still around. Let me go check that out. And we're seeing, you know, guys like Chris, guys, you know, start to kind of get back into it, who've done and went on to be professional and other things.
I feel like some people, like, they loved it so much when they were younger, but since it's so goddamn expensive, they just couldn't play it, right? So it's like now they got like that adult money. They're like, dude, I'm putting it in. You know, I'm putting it in the pot. And I mean, I think that's cool.
Yeah, and you know, I didn't know anything about Mark's brother, and I don't at all. But, you know, obviously I went to his Instagram and I was looking around like, all right, who's this guy? You know, and who's he affiliated with? And you start looking, he's got some clout. You know, he carries some clout for sure. And, you know, if he's bringing people to the tournament to expose them to tournament paintball, whether they ever pick up a gun or they just think it's really cool, well, I mean, dude, word of mouth is still like some of the best salesmen ever.
Agreed.
like guys talk about that. And then I think Marcelo mentioned that, some NFL guys might be out there other than Chris Odom. Dude,
Yeah.
just
Well,
getting people out there to see it is
I
the
guess
first step, bro.
That's the
good
biggest
way.
thing.
I have to lay out this story just a tad, but a good way to kind of paint this picture of how powerful this marketing could potentially be for the NXL. So Dana White, obviously, he's trying to create Power Slap, which is his side brand to UFC. It's a slap fighting competition. Whatever opinion you have about it, whatever, that's fine. At his most recent Power Slap live event, Power Slap 3 or whatever it was, he had Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross, and Neon, or it wasn't Neon, I don't know, some other big kick streamer who they just had them come and stream during the event. The amount of eyeballs that they were able to bring in is insane. And to Dana's credit, when he was asked about that in the press conference, he straight up said that. He said, "You guys don't understand, but we had a bigger audience online tonight watching these 3 streamers watch our event than other routes." Like, that's just how content is consumed by most of the people who are, below 30 years old. That's a lot of what's happening, is people are just watching streamers or watching other content that's streamed online. We talked with Dan about this a little bit. So yeah, I mean, that guy is in that world, and he, whatever you think about him, personally or whatever, I mean, that's fine. You can have your opinion, but I think it's a good thing. It's a dude who obviously loves the game enough to spend 4 hours on PTG, Spick and Span, a couple other shows. Like, he's already trying to donate his time and to help out the sport. So, let's see what happens. It's kind of one of those things that it's still up in the air. We'll see where the chips fall, and if this actually is a good thing or if it is a bad thing, or whatever happens. But I don't know. That's always been our thing here, is like, try to be fair with giving criticism on stuff, and so far it's been positive. Yeah, and I think we have good things looking forward.
I think sometimes too is everyone needs to understand their role, right? Like, we're all here competing, enjoying the sport for what it is right now, and everyone would love for it to get bigger, right? So the best thing you can do is continue enjoying to play it, competing, talking about it, introducing new people to it. Just continue that. If everyone continues bringing additional people into the sport each and every year, that just exponentially grows. I think that just still needs to happen. I think the youth getting involved is a big thing. And then obviously these celebrities and all these guys with all these followers and streamers and stuff, that's great too. And that it all needs to happen, all of it. From the top to the bottom, left, right, everywhere, all that stuff needs to happen, and it needs to all start happening together. And then I feel like that's how things just start getting bigger and bigger and spreading quicker, because I think the moment you go to an airport and some random person sitting in a business suit at a bar knows about paintball based on the brands you're wearing, we've done our job. But still, I have to explain what I'm doing traveling, and I have to explain that there is a professional level, and that was a problem. I wore dye crap all year long through every freaking airport, head to toe dye, looked like I was a damn dye billboard. And not one person stopped me and was like, "Hey dude, you must play professional paintball or something."
Yeah.
Not one person.
But change that out with like Fox gear. I guarantee you someone would be like, "Yo, are you a motocross rider? Like, do you ride for something?"
Bro,
like, at some point someone would ask you about that.
Yeah, someone 100%. So maybe not. A lot of people live in their own bubble, but they're thinking it, but no one's even thinking it. And that's not, we're still at that point, and it's been like that since I was going to high school parties explaining to girls that I was pro paintball when I was playing D5.
Well, good line, by the way. Good job. But I was going to say, it's almost, if anything, it's almost stepped back a little bit, because we used to have representation on broadcast television with the ESPN2 deal in the mid 2000s, as well as other action sports were popping off during that time. So it was kind of like I've heard of that at least. Like, oh, okay, I know that happens. Whereas today, I mean, unless you've seen a TikTok scroll by as you've been scrolling, no one's even, heard of it outside of players and people in the industry.
And being pro and being around some of the people I've been around, and hearing the stories of even how that stuff went down, that was a missed opportunity. It was squandered for sure. And it is what it is, man. It's hard to hear. It was a bummer to hear how things kind of went down, but it is what it is. I think we're going in the right direction.
Paintball squandered a lot of stuff. I mean, I think you're talking about the ESPN one back in the day, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
we were talking Maddie
it's
about
frustrating. I think you got a lot of people involved in the industry that aren't really qualified to be at the level they're at.
That plus, I think, especially back in those days, you had a lot of people who wanted to secure their part of the pie. And the problem becomes is people were so worried about getting their 10% that they didn't realize if you take 2% of a $250,000 industry, it's a lot better than a $20 million industry having 10%.
Because they weren't educated on basic economics.
Yeah, and so, I think we saw a lot of people who spent money looking to get a really quick return, and then they didn't see that, and then they're like, well, this is fucked, and then they just, then we had the dark years, the kind of early 2010s where paintball was very dark and there wasn't many tournaments going on. Most, the NPPL shut down, PSP shut down. Like it wasn't looking good. And now credit to Tommy. Like we got to give him credit. He's helped kind of with the other NXL owners, Bart, Dave, Sarge. They have kind of brought it at least back to a point where it's a stable product and we can start to, bring in new marketers, new advertisers, new broadcast deals, potentially stuff like that can start to happen now.
I wasn't around back in 2000. What would they consider the golden era? Like 2005 to 2007.
Honestly, it would probably be like 03.
Like 2001 to 2001.
Because 03 was when the NPPL started. Around. So that was like the start of like the really player focused tournaments. I went to some
Huntington Beach. I went to some of the big ones as a spectator as a kid when I was like 16, and that was awesome. But and that's kind of what I fell in love with the sport, seeing stuff like that. But I think we're almost back to that. Just different. We're not at Huntington Beach, but I mean, Vegas is, look at 30 semi-pro teams.
Yeah.
That's 30 teams that are saying, hey, I think I can be pro.
No, and every year's World Cup recently has been bigger and bigger. The amount of teams participating, the amount of people participating.
The stands alone, like the finals are filled.
I mean, if NXL was smart, they would just pay people to go sit in those stands the entire tournament. Make those things just maxed out.
Just all extras the whole weekend, getting a day rate.
Yeah, dude. Just go to the local.
NXL's hiring for that. Let me know.
Let me know. Yeah. Make a little side gig, get a couple hour set.
Give them free food and some shade. And
oh shit, free, dude. Hell yeah, that sounds great.
Everyone loves free food, dude. Who wouldn't love free food on a Friday, dude?
Whatever fucking vendor that is that they get every time, dude. Those chicken tendies, bro. Sometimes those hit the spot after your second match.
Chick-fil-A last year.
They did,
bro. You're right.
That was clutch.
That was luxury.
You missed out.
On Sunday when it was a void. On Sunday there was a void.
That made me so sad, bro. Because all week we literally just ate Chick-fil-A for lunch, and then fucking all of a sudden Sunday comes. You wanted to get ready for the finals, and you had no Chick-fil-A there.
See, we're getting there, dude. Chick-fil-A. Right at the VIP section, we're good.
It was funny. I did talk to Tom about that because we were walking by it, and I was like, "Hey, Tom, good job! Everyone loves it." And he's like, "I've gotten more compliments on the Chick-fil-A booth than anything we've done at this event." And I was like, "Well, there you go, man. People want what they want."
That's just good paintball food, bro. When you're just fucking exhausted, it's just so nourishing. Just so fucking.
The man did his homework. He got the right booth there. That was good work.
Nah, for sure. Tommy's been involved for a while. And speaking of the gambling, he also has had some gambling stuff he's talked about before.
I think it's legal in one state, right?
Like in Colorado is what I've heard.
Oh, yep.
So there may be some other site that you could potentially use. I don't know. I haven't heard much about it, and he has been kind of vague about it too. So maybe we'll see what happens. Maybe that's something that's going to come out later in this year as well too. So yeah, I mean it's exciting.
That's what kind of confused me. Sorry, that's what kind of confused me with the new gambling thing coming up. I thought it was like
you thought like
I don't know.
They were connected.
I don't know. There wasn't much. I think because there wasn't much information coming out from Tom. At least as of recent.
Mark and his brother going out of their way to try to bring a new element to the game.
Yeah, I do definitely think it's more spearheaded from Dirty Goth Boy, if you guys know that name on Instagram, but is it Mickey Massa or
Mickey? I don't know how to pronounce the last name.
Something like that. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, man. But yeah, him and his brother, they're obviously the ones who are like seeming to be like spearheading this. I think they do have obviously like permission from the NXL, but I don't necessarily know if like Tom is involved with these conversations and stuff like that, if that makes sense.
It's also hard because Tom has to hold up the NXL as well on his shoulders, you know? He has to hold up all the, like,
does he own it, or does he just work for the owners?
He works for the owners, but he is the figurehead. He's the dude who gets all the hater love, whether something goes right or wrong.
Right, and he still has to balance all that, and plus work with the...
What's really been going wrong? All I've ever heard is just like reffing, but people have been blaming reffing for 17
literally
years
since paintball started. Yeah.
People complain about reffing in the NFL, so what's the difference?
I agree, and I think that's why one thing that it will never change. People will always complain about...
Play above the refs.
As a guy who's reffed myself, there are some slimy fuckers that will say anything to get the point in their favor.
Reffing's difficult, and when I ref CPLs, I feel like I was a good ref. But look at how much backlash I got all the time.
Well, you also had to deal with
being your right hand
some
on some
people who are not very sane. So, I can't tell that story here, but there's goddamn, there were some amazing moments from head ref J-Bell just dealing with all the bullshit.
Dude. Hey, dude, I was J-Bo's right hand on that field, bro. Field 2 for life, bro. I was J-Bo's right hand there.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, J-Bo used to hold it down at Seaples, being the head ref over there.
Now you get to be my right hand on the Lone Wolf semi-pro paintball field.
Whatever.
You come fill my pod.
We'll see. I'm excited to play. You never know, dude. Maybe you'll fill my pods.
I hope you dish out some good ones, man. I hope you do.
Likewise, my friend. I'm excited.
It'll be fun.
I want to play you guys really fucking bad.
3-1 gets you in. You know that, right?
I don't think I know that.
4-0 and 3-1 gets you in.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys was it 2-2 in Cup?
Yep.
Yeah, so you still snuck in. So
yes, sir.
Come on, boys.
The funny thing about that is, dude, when we almost won Cup when I was with Ben, we were 2-1-1. We squeaked in at the 12th seed and ran the table on Sunday.
Was that the event where the Tauntauns declined playing you guys in the third, fourth match?
That was the Dallas event.
They surrendered in Texas.
It was Texas. Okay, I love hearing that story from you. It was one of my favorites that I was like, oh, that happened? What the fuck?
A lot of inappropriate comments were made. It was a great time. I miss Queasy because of that.
God, yeah. I haven't seen Queasy in probably about a year or so. God damn.
I've almost pulled him out of retirement. I almost got him.
Damn.
For Ology or
no, for my D3 squad I'm coaching.
Oh, okay. For the fun line to go shit on some kids.
Fill us in on that, J-Bo. Fill us in.
That's not a fun line. They're gonna be nasty, dude. They're super committed and they have the structure. They're going to be good in D3.
Who's on that team?
So it's some of my old buddies I used to play with. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Fusion, but when Fusion was around, that kind of fizzled out towards the end because the ownership, had some issues going on. So, but some of the guys still wanted to play. They'd hit me up because they felt like I was a good leader to run a team. And so I was willing to do that. And I became close friends with these guys. We changed the name from Fusion to Supreme. And we ran that for a couple seasons, and we went all the way up to, the D1 semi-pro level, even though we weren't quite ready for that. It got hard.
Were you guys, right? You guys were HK sponsored, right?
Yeah, we were an HK team.
Okay, then I'm thinking of the right jersey in my head. All right.
Yeah, so, and those guys, they were all really young. They were all in college and whatnot. So college kind of caught up to all those guys, and they just kind of fizzled out. And that's how I actually landed in DMG, because I was like, well, I still would like to play paintball, and I'm not in college. I have a full-time job. So I just was like, well, let me just go play with DMG and, have fun doing my own thing. And, so then years later, we're sitting, December 2023. I just got cut from Ironmen, and one of my good friends from that team had hit me up, and he said, hey, I want to get back into paintball, but the only way I'm coming back is if you're coaching. And I was just like, well, I got nothing going on, so I'll help you guys out. And there's like 4 of the guys from that old team. And then we picked up Ryan Podesta. So he's going to be good for the team. And then we have some old DMG players that haven't played in a long time, but they're not going to rust off. They're going to be pretty good too. And then I'm trying to get Queasy on the line.
Are they playing at the NXL?
They're playing Vegas. and then they'll play all the WCPBLs.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But yeah,
In Premiere or D3?
No, D3.
no
D3. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ology is gonna play NXL and WC, so
Nice.
I'll be playing Premiere and semi-pro, which is good. More paintball. You got to play. You know, when you're trying to go pro, you got to play as much as possible at a high level. So I think they're doing it right.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I just,
Yeah,
I want to
I
go.
recognize some of these players.
On Supreme.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
played with two
they're
of them.
good, dude. They're gonna be nasty, bro. I've been putting them through a lot of drills. Something that a lot of teams don't do. We're doing a ton of drills. Their first scrimmage was Sunday. They hadn't played anybody but themselves in drills, very intense drills for all through winter. And then I was like, you know what? I think it's time for you guys to scrimmage somebody else. And so they set up a scrimmage, and I think some team local that Yosh Rao's coaching, it was a pretty good day. I think that, they looked pretty good, man. So I think they're going to have a good season. Now they need to start obviously scrimmaging a little bit more often, but that's one of the things a lot of teams don't do is they don't drill, and they don't drill effectively. So I've been having these guys. I'm like, you know what? You want to bring me on as a coach? I'm going to have you do it right. The guys that don't want to do this stuff, then they're just not going to be a part of the team. It's going to be pretty cutthroat.
So explain to us what doing it right looks like. What the main
So we don't have a layout. So you need to build drills fundamentally for one, start off fundamentals. So a lot of January was fundamental drills, anywhere from simple gunfighting drills to, little situation, more 2-on-2, just, time limit, a lot of just encouraging all the fundamentals to be used, simple communication, but more so just getting good at, living behind your gun, understanding how to be confident about engaging in a gunfight, winning, putting a guy in, making moves. Very simple stuff. And to increase the intensity over a week's time to challenge these guys and have them play a lot of one-on-ones. They play a ton of one-on-ones because the one-on-ones, they kind of expose you to all of the fundamentals, right? Running, gunning, snap shooting while moving, just moving around the field, having the field awareness, all those types of things. It's very fast paced. So they're doing a lot of that. And then now I'm saying now that they're going to have Vegas, they're going to, practice on the layout. They're going to play the tournament. And then I told them, look, so after you play the tournament, we need to take away, what we did well and then what we need to work on. And then you need to go and design drills, I do as a coach. I need to design drills that are going to focus in on those things that we either need to build on from the strengths or improve and make our weaknesses our strengths, right? And, closing drills, situational drills, all those types of things that right now we don't really know yet. We did scrimmage, so we kind of know now what we were struggling at, but and we can do that on like a Saturday or something, this weekend, but
going to an event, playing 4 prelim matches, that gives you a lot more of like, okay, this is where we're at. Like, all right, guys, we lost every low body situation. Maybe we should, work on a couple, island drills, stuff like that. Yeah, no, exactly. Like that's what I'm saying is it gets exposed a lot more, and you can see, okay, that's what we got to work on.
Exactly. So that's the route they're going to go. There's going to be a lot of structure involved. I'll be involved a lot. I'll try to coach him the best I can at Vegas. We brought on Podesta just because he does bring that, top level experience.
Playing forever.
I think, dude, that guy's good, man. I've always kind of known who he was, but to have him on the team and interact with him, I'm like, damn, bro, for like 40 years old, that guy is still savage.
Yeah.
He gets it done.
The guy will still snap anybody out.
Yeah, he's so good. He's so good. And watching him and some of his team, his old like gray area guys play together.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and then they come out to Capital Edge and just play. It's kind of weird because they're old. They've been playing together for so long, but they're not constantly communicating. It's a lot of like reading each other's body language and filling the gap that that's voided at the moment. It's weird watching. It's a little weird because I'm
Maybe
not
that's just
used
from
to
playing
that,
together for a long time.
Exactly,
Those guys have been
yeah.
playing together since like the Mama's Boys, like old early 2000s, like we were talking about. That's where they come from. So they see a
They
guy
shot
trying to
2K2
rap and go. They already
Intimidators.
know.
Like that was like their
Yeah.
special team gun was that. So like yeah, fucking early days paintball.
Damn.
Yeah, so they'll be good. I mean, I don't know. We don't really. The goal is to just make it out of prelims, give ourselves a chance to play in the playoffs. I think that's the first goal of the team. Because I don't think last year when some of those guys were playing D3 last year that they were struggling to just make it out of prelims. So this year is totally different vibe, totally different structure. And the goal is get out of prelims, give yourselves a chance to play in the tournament and see where that goes. And then we'll go from there.
Perfect.
And just,
I was going to ask, as we're talking kind of on the coaching side, this is now your second year that I know of. I know last year you had a lot more to do with Ruthless, which was a local divisional team. I know, this year you're saying you're stepping into another kind of line that you're helping coach. Is coaching something you enjoy? I mean, is that something you could see yourself maybe, if, someday when you have to hang up the spikes yourself, maybe still staying around in the game in that aspect?
Yeah, and I told the guys I want to improve my resume as a coach, but I actually believe I'm a good coach, and I'm still working with the Ruthless guys, and that's something that I think I'll probably always be involved in doing, even if I step away from playing, just because I do enjoy it, and I do have qualities that are needed in a good coach, I feel like, from what I've seen, and honestly what I've been told.
I would agree.
So far,
I would agree. I just, I wanted to get your opinion on it because obviously it seems like a position that, I mean, even when you were playing with DMG back in the day, you had to step into when your knee was hurt, and it just seemed almost like a natural fit for you. So, maybe that is something we see from Jordan in, the next couple of years is, the marker gets hung up, but the clipboard gets taken down.
Well, and that's kind of what almost happened this offseason, right? I was ready to just hang it up and just coach, around early December. And then the Ology thing popped up like mid-January. And I was like, oh, guess I need to get a gun because I sold my die shit.
Yeah,
and
became a mercenary. Someone called your name.
And I got the opportunity and I got all back in love with playing. And I've been playing every weekend and really working out, doing all the pro stuff that you need to be doing and just getting ready to go be the best, player for the team I'm playing with.
Kind of having that new challenge now, that new next kind of thing to work towards.
New mountain to climb.
So I'll say this, like when I got cut from Ironman, I reached out to a lot of guys that I respected in the game at a high level, some of them being, Rich Telford and Alex Frazier and a couple others. And, Mike Himman, and they all had different perspectives and different advice to give. And I kind of took all of that advice and kind of sat on it and was like, all right, what is best for me? What's realistic, what's best for me? And so that's kind of the route I took, right? Like I was trying to stay in the pro division. I had reached out to some teams and there was talks of potentially getting on a team or two. And it just fell through because bigger named players with more respect kind of just got, the opportunity. That's fine. I'm not mad about that. All I was asking for is a chance to go out and prove myself. I was willing to bet on myself and I just didn't get that opportunity. And I'm totally fine with that because
fucking Thomas Kim comes out of retirement, takes up a spot. Fucking these dudes, like, no,
A-Rod,
throwing shit under the bus there. But it does bring up a point of like, there are only a certain amount of spots in that top league. There's 20 teams, and those 20 teams usually carry about 10-ish guys, a couple more, maybe a couple less, but there's not that many spots.
It's tough, man. And it may be a little easier if I was a 5'6" front player that was fast and could get down the field. That definitely helps. Your sell or your value. But like you said before, you felt like I was kind of quiet or underrated, and I feel like that as well. And I feel like I just need to be in the right systems to succeed at the pro level.
Well,
and I just didn't get that out of Ironman, so it kind of actually put me back a step.
I think a good kind of metaphor for, your stuff, people have talked about it forever, but you talk about Dynasty, you talk about the core four, everyone knows Greenspan, Frazier, freaking
Oliver Yosh.
I don't know why I'm forgetting their names right now. But out of those 4, there's always one that kind of gets left out, and that's Yosh. And it's because he plays a similar role to you.
Best one, though.
But he is. And if you ask people who know, they'll say that. But if you ask the public, because what does he do? He stands in the back. He tells you where everyone is. He holds whatever lane you need. And it's, so whoever front player can go look like an absolute superstar because you're completely protected from from Yosh in the back. Like, it's, yeah.
I watch Yosh route tape all the time, bro. And like, I saw him over the weekend, and, I always just have a lot of respect for him. And it's like, man, like, I don't want to be Yosh Rao, but I want to be what he was in paintball, or what he is in paintball. And so I look at that and I'm like, all right, I want to be my own Yosh Rao, right? But he's got a lot of experience that I'm probably never going to get. So I got to figure out how to do this faster. You know what I mean? And it's tough.
How to speed up the timeline.
Opportunity. I got to speed up the timeline really fast, because I only got 3.5 seasons of pro, and he's got 20.
Yeah,
and he's at least playing another one this year, so
his number only gets higher.
What? So all I can do is pay attention when guys like that talk, and watch their game and try to understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, and then make that, like, I used to joke about it with, like, on Ironman, I'm just going to absorb all of their skills and become something greater. Right, I'm just going to learn and absorb all of their knowledge and try to make it something better. And that was like my goal the whole time when I was sitting there just riding the bench. Like, all right, well, these guys think they got it. Well, I'm going to figure out how to be better than them. So,
but at the same time, I'm ready to go. And when your name was called at World Cup, I mean, you held your job, but that job was. What could you do from that bunker? Like, it was
John beat Axel in the one-on-one, bro.
That was Chicago, but yeah, I handled that one. I was actually playing really well in the Chicago layout, and I earned a lot of playing time there. And we just played bad as a team, man. It was tough. It's hard to win 3-on-5s and 3-on-4s in pro, dude. It's hard.
Statistically, it's almost impossible.
It's hard because if you're the 3 and you also don't play as a team, you ain't never winning that.
Never.
You may every once in a while pop off and rip off a couple quick kills off of a good move because you're pro level. But dude, I won't get into details, but it's just it's tough, man. You got to play as a team. Learn how to play as a team in semi-pro. What you guys are doing, as DMG. I think it's good that you guys are keeping the same roster. You got the same guys out there running it back. You guys are going to be better this year. You guys are going to find yourselves on Sundays, and that's all you need to do is just get in a Sunday and then figure out how to win on Sundays. And a lot of that is just playing better as a team. It's not a secret. There's no special recipe. It's just figuring out how to play together as a team and trusting each other. You guys figure that out and work on that through these practices, then the tournaments are going to get easier. And then you're going to find yourselves on a run on Sundays often.
There was this one time at Cup where I trusted Brando. I was like, Brando, I trust you, bro. And motherfucker let me get run down.
He didn't.
Well,
I didn't see.
Maybe Brandon just didn't like how you looked that day or something. Did you tuck your hair back? You put a ponytail?
Like a Teletubby.
I usually walk up to Brando and I go, yo, check the hair. I make sure he knows.
Dude, he's over here, Dorito 3, if you guys want to know. Just come bunker him. Go on the inside. I won't shoot you.
Hell yeah. But, I think you're absolutely right, J-Bo, about the whole trusting your team and everything. Because, man, that really is a difference. Like, I mean, I've guessed it on teams where you definitely can't trust some of the guys behind you. And, dude, it's a whole other fight. It's a whole other opponent to fight in the match.
Well, and on Ironman, I wasn't trusted from the start. I had to earn my trust, right? And it wasn't until, I started slapping some people around at practice and proving myself and being like, hey, dude, what else do I got to do to prove my stake here? Because I'm on the team too, and I get to watch you guys play paintball every, 2 months. So I'd like to know what I can do to get in the mix, So I was doing my thing and trying to move my way up the ranks of the team. And it was just a dysfunctional setup, man. And it sucks that it ended the way it did for me because I felt like I had opportunity and had the potential to be pretty great on that team. But it's all good. We're on a different path now. I took a harder one, but I think it's going to be a better path.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, it's funny, but it's almost something that you've played this game of going up and down, up and down, up and down for the past couple of years, it seems. And so it's
still here though.
That's kind of what I'm saying is like, I mean, other guys who have been on teams with you, they're gone. I mean, I haven't seen Hal Vanna at a paintball field in a long time, but Jordan Boyum still shows up, and it's like, there's other examples you could say, but that's just a really easy one. So it's like, yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about that kind of grittiness of this, it's never been fully worked out correctly, but still showing up and saying, all right, this is my opportunity now. Okay, I'll go play semi-pro. Ology, you guys want me to play with you? All right, what's up, Josh? What's up, Ben? Let's play together, let's figure this out again.
Yeah, and that's kind of, if I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go to play semi-pro, I was looking at all the teams like, all right, who do I see as a potential top 5 team where at least they're in the fight at the end of the season to give ourselves a chance to get into the pro ranks. And they were on the list. I had made a short list. And they were on the list, and it's like, all right, so I'll reach out to them again, see what's up with that. And then that's when Ben and I started talking.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, and that brings the whole circle close from the last time that you saw Ben, that you told us about on the podcast when he left SAC. So you got to finally go beat him in a one-on-one now. Yeah, there you go. You got to bring it out this weekend.
Saturday morning up in Washington, I'm going to call his ass out when it's freezing cold and be like, let's go play one-on-ones, bro.
This is to get back at that time you said, good luck, J-Bo.
Whoever the best player on the team is, I'm going to call him out right away.
Hell yeah. I like
Sir dominance quickly.
Matter, bro. It don't matter win or lose. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about letting everyone know I'm for real. Like, I'm really here to be something on this team. So you better, beat the crap out of me on one-on-ones and put me down a level.
Fuck yeah.
Jordan shooting 315 first day back on the field.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no chrono, then probably.
I'm getting into their minds. Come on, let's go.
The last time I cornered my gun was like a month ago. So
it'll be colder up there, so it'll be slower. It won't be hotter, at least.
They'll be fine.
There we go. Yeah, it should be like 290 then.
Yeah, you're going soft on them.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Going to be so
for
cold.
sure, man. We got through a couple of things I kind of wanted to get through on the paintball side. Hatch, Brandon, did you guys have anything in particular directly for J-Bro?
Yo, J-Bo, what happened to that? What happened to that one mech tournament that you played at Capital Edge?
Oh man, so there's a perfect example of a team. So you take 2 bum pro paintball players, right? Tyler and myself, and you stick them on a team with a bunch of guys that barely pick up paintball guns. And because they had played, D2 a couple years ago, and then they played pro for like a tournament. Dude, there was zero teamwork. You reffed the damn tournament.
I sure did.
What team are you guys talking about right now?
We played so there was a little.
I'm like trying to put it together.
Capital Edge, in the first weekend of the year.
Yeah, and, I think it was like the 7th or something of January.
Oh, okay.
We tried to put together a little nasty roster, man, and it was just a disaster.
You remember that, right, Brando?
We lost to teams. Yeah, it was that was a very frustrating little day of paintball because I'm not saying that I played that great, but I was trying to put a lot on my shoulders, a few points. And there were guys just letting me down.
You want to know what I was calling the team?
What's that?
I would call you guys the Goobers and J-Bo.
Hey, you ain't that wrong, bro. Like, I love all those dudes. They're all homies. But, man, I straight up told them at that tournament, I said, bro, how do you ever expect to win a paintball tournament playing like that?
Valid.
Like, you guys think that you're going to pick up paintball guns after not playing for 6 months to a year, and you think you're going to go beat a team that has been grinding every single weekend because you have a couple pros on your team?
That's not how that works.
2 guys don't make a whole team.
That's not how that works. No.
Yeah.
No, we didn't make a whole team. That clearly showed, man. And honestly, those teams that beat us, regardless of how they beat us, I mean, honestly, it was a little subject, but I'm not mad about that. I still think that we should have been playing well enough to just handle anybody, fairly easily. And that did not happen. And I think teams played up to our level and we played down to theirs. And I think there were certain guys on our team, not going to name names, that literally expected other people to win the point for them. And when you're playing in that mentality, you're never going to win.
No. Because
like
the
being the
problem
guy
is
that wins
it's
it.
gonna come down to you at some point. Like that's just paintball. Like you're gonna need to make a play. You're gonna need to hold a lane. Like every person on a 5-man team is gonna have to have an integral
clutch.
part in that win. And so if you're just expecting someone else to do it for you, you're already letting your team down a fifth of the time. Now there's 4 other guys who gotta make up for that,
shit.
and it's just that snowball starts to trickle and get worse and worse.
It's tough. It is tough, but you know, it is what it is. It was fun. You know, got to get out there and play, and that was fun. Yeah, we didn't win, but
You look solid, bro. You look solid for sure.
I felt all right. Appreciate that. I definitely got my shots in on some people for sure.
You definitely.
You know,
I'm like,
my
God
kill
damn,
count,
dude.
my kill count was high on that day for sure.
Hell yeah. So I like.
But you know, we didn't win. I like to win, so you know, I like to be surrounded by guys that want the same goal, and so that's why I went and found myself a group of guys that want that.
It's the main point of grinding, right? Is the end goal of winning, right? And being the best.
You know, there's a lot of guys that like to play paintball, and that's great. Paintball's awesome. I think everyone should play paintball. But for the guys that want to compete and be the best, like you got to do the shit that is hard. You know, if you suck, if you suck at things, you got to be humble about that and self-critique and go and work on those things that make them your strengths. If you're not doing that on your own and you're not doing it as a team, you are never going to make it to the top.
Yeah. And that's one thing that, I mean, our coach has been trying to practice with me is he's been having me, he's like, yo, you're fine attacking, but you need to learn how to slow your roll and break down the game, learn how to break it open. And he's been really helping me practice with that, with the 4-on-3 drills, the low body situations.
Sure. Who's coaching you?
We got Chim.
Marv's still there?
Marv is still there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna send my my guys out to Capitol Edge. I don't know if that's a mistake to do that on the layout weekend, but they're looking for reps.
Ugh. I don't know, honestly.
That'd be like a chim question because
very true. That would.
I mean,
Kids are nasty, bro. I think they'd bring it.
I think the only plans we have is just us against each other.
Pro. Okay.
I mean,
that's true. One of the fields will be
told to play.
used up by that.
Offline.
Yeah, we could be. It could be like one where it's like, all right, we're playing all day, or it's like you're struggling to get reps. So
yeah, no, we could talk offline about it a little bit, but I just want to drop that in there.
Hell yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you know me, J-Bo. I'm always down to clown, bro. You know me.
Attach is like signature code for
I
us.
won't be around.
Well, then fuck you.
I'm going to Washington this weekend. Going to practice up at KC Crusaders with the Ology boys Saturday, Sunday, and then the following weekend for layouts. I think we're going down to LA and going to practice. I think there's like a pro scrimmage going down to ASG, and we're going to be involved in that.
Aftermath.
I think it's
That'd be cool.
Aftermath, Uprising, and Notorious, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And which is good. And then I think some other. I don't know if they have any semi-pro teams down there. Do they have any LA semi-pro teams?
I don't think so. I would just assume like the
Collision
premier teams.
Maybe. That'd be the only team I think that would have one.
TJ Basters, they're down there. I think they're jumping in a semi-pro this year. They're pretty good.
Okay.
So.
I know they've been playing Premier the last couple of years for Dub C.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you plan on going up there and practicing with the team?
I mean, I was only expected to go for layout weekends, but I felt like it was in my best interest. And actually, my fiance, she encouraged me as well. She's like, "Hey, you should probably go up there and practice with them like an extra weekend because you just got on the team." And I agree. I was like, "Man, that's a good idea."
Supportive ex-girlfriend, we love it.
Yeah, I was like, man, she I asked her, I was like, "You want to drive up there?" And she's like, "No, you should fly up there." Like, oh, okay, all right, well, let me get a flight. And so
it's like I don't want to go, but you should go. That would be good for you.
And I agree. I think it's a good thing. I think the building the chemistry, getting so by the time we actually play Vegas, I'll practice with them 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's
better than
just
just
a lot. You can
a
get a
weekend.
lot done in 6 days.
Yeah,
better than just a weekend, right? And honestly, I still got to earn my spot. Nothing's guaranteed. They got their own team. They have their own dynamic. I got to find a way to fit into that, right? So and yeah, I know Josh, yeah, I know Ben and Tyler, but I got to fit into what they already have set up. I got to learn their calls. I got to, learn how to communicate with them, and that's not going to be something that may happen, by the first tournament. So I just got to, be ready to grind. That's it.
This will be your second time now since DMG kind of broke up, where you have to jump into new waters, figure out someone else's, team system and organization and how everything's set up. Just because, it's not the team that you were a part of for so many years.
No, but as a pro, I look at it like that shouldn't be a huge issue. You should be able to adapt fairly quickly. And, I think I talked about this with Tim Brosselback over the weekend because we were practicing together. And I was like, man, how should I really approach this? And he was like, you know what? He goes, don't play down to semi-pro level. He's like, continue to bring that pro mentality and that pro style of play, because it is a different style of play than semi-pro. He's like, but bring that and just make it better for the team. Like, if that makes sense, like bring what you know, bring your knowledge, and just share it amongst the team and try to make that part of how you guys kind of play. But we already have Josh there, and Josh knows the deal. So, and Ben's been there too. So it shouldn't be that difficult to communicate that style of play and mindset to the team.
Well, yeah, there are a couple translators almost already.
Probably already there. Yeah, it's probably already there because they've already been a team for a year. So it should be a lot of easy, two-way conversations that aren't a lot of explaining. It's more of like just getting on the same page. Like, all right, yeah, no, we both agree on this. Let's go do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely excited to see how Ology does this year. Continue, Brennan.
Yeah. Do you guys have a dedicated coach? Or
so they had. No, I don't think they do, which is it's a little bit of a concern because I do believe you need that structure as a coach. I really don't want to see Josh be a player coach, even though he's
I kind of feel like he's the one who'd do it if that does come up. Yeah,
he would, but I think they have some. I know they had Thomas for a minute, Thomas Taylor, but I don't know how that was working out. And then I know he's still involved with the team, but I don't know. I hope they have something at some point. I know that there were some names floating around, and I'd thrown some names out there that would be good candidates, but I mean, that might be the only thing that we need.
I mean, to break the fourth wall a little bit, if you were watching Spick and Span earlier on the day this was recorded, so the February 20th show for them, I mean, your teammate was openly asking, trying to figure out coaches and like people who were open and available. So it does seem like that's something that you guys don't have at the moment. So yeah, maybe someone will come through before the event, or maybe by Texas or something will happen. But yeah, I mean, that's part of the process. Like we were saying, every team's a little different. You got to figure out the challenges that are coming with that organization.
I think the one good thing we have is that we may not have a coach. It obviously sounds like we don't, but as long as everyone, it's a very tight-knit group and everyone understands the objective and they understand the game plans, then there won't be a lot of discussion in between in the middle of matches. That's the one thing you want to eliminate. Yeah. If you're not going to have a coach, you want to minimize that amount of questioning and overanalyzing in between points. It should be, hey, we're doing these things correctly. This is what we're doing. This is what they're doing. We're going to go do this now. Everyone understands it. Okay, let's go. And hopefully enough of that pro level mindset is scattered amongst the group to where we can just adapt quickly, right? So we'll see.
I mean, chaos in the pits is only exacerbated when you don't have that third voice to be like, everyone shut the fuck up. Here's what we're going to do. When it's just all the homies and it's not, a dude with a clipboard. Now it's, you need to all buy in and be like, all right, this is what it is. Let's just try it. We'll see.
As at least they know what they're getting in me is I will not be one of those people that causes disruption in the pits. I will come off the field, get my air, get my paint, and be ready to do what we need to do. But I know that's what it takes because you watch all the good teams. Just go watch. And all the good teams, that's how they operate. Yeah. It's a mental focus. I mean, right? Paintball's mental, man.
Yeah. You guys play a lot on the divisional side, so you guys, you'll see more of the divisional teams, but how many teams that like have full-on breakdowns in the pits win games?
Bro,
Not very many.
It's funny because I walk through you guys saw me a few times last year. I would just randomly go walk through the semi-pro pits and the like divisional pits, just to kind of get my mind off of whatever. And dude, pure chaos.
It really is.
It almost gave me anxiety, dude. It did the opposite effect. I was like, holy shit, bro. There's people everywhere. There's gear everywhere. There's just people, smoking in the pits and crushing beers. And
that's what I think is the fucking craziest part, dude.
Dude, I'm like,
smoke a joint in the fucking pit.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right, dude.
Okay, we get you just got mercied, bro, but like, I'm still playing my match. Maybe you don't have to light that up in my face.
Yeah.
Like,
and then they're fucking all salty when they lost the match. We're just asking for a table, bro. It's like, dude, relax.
It's tough, man. Paintball is all walks of life, and you're gonna get that atmosphere a lot of times because it's just a different type of sport. But I wish some of that would go away a little bit. I like to have fun too, but when I'm competing, man, I like to take it serious.
Me too, man.
To me, that is fun.
This is a conversation I've had with Matt Ingles when he was still the head of NXL. Is he talked to me like he had sponsors come to events, like PR people for big brands come to events to like see the atmosphere. Well, then they'd walk through the divisional pits, and most of them would not return his calls after that because they don't want their name associated with just the chaos over there. And some of it, I get. You're at an event, you're having fun, you paid a lot of money to be there, but some of it's like you're at a professional event. Like you need to kind of act that way a little bit.
The premier events, you're at the top echelon of events.
And it goes back to, like trying to grow the sport and that stuff is like, you got to act a certain way to have people want to show up. Like, you can't just be having fights all the time and expecting people to bring their like families to events. That just isn't going to happen.
I think the old school paintball was like that.
100%.
And that's cool, and it's great that it's went through its different stages. But we're at a stage now where to compete at a high level and to be successful at paintball, you have to treat it like a sport, like a legitimate, I don't know, be regulated sport. But it's a real sport, man. Like I don't care what anyone says, it's a real sport. You want to compete at the highest level, you have to treat it like you're an athlete, whether you are or not. But to do those things, just do it off the field, man. Like, go leave the field, go do it, because honestly, you want to be an ambassador of the sport. Like, let's clean that up a little bit, and let's show some professionalism even in the lower ranks. That'd be nice. Semi-pro, at least, they should embrace it for sure. Let's if you're fighting treat our semi-pro field. Let's treat our semi-pro field like we're playing pro. That'd be cool.
And I will say credit to a lot of the organizations in semi-pro. Like, there is at least a level of respect for most of the teams out there of like, all right, we're not just going to fucking get hammered the day before and show up and say kind of fuck it. Like, yeah, majority of the teams who are in that level are starting to try to really take it seriously, watch game film, get planning and stuff. You still have a couple though who will, kind of let that stuff go. And it's like, guys, like now that's kind of putting a black eye on all the other teams in your division who are trying to take this very seriously and like be professional about it.
Well, that, and it's like, okay, so you're a videographer, right? So are you still going to be working at the NXLs?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. I'm not going to tell you what to put on film, but to watch the actual sport in its truest form at like a high level is the most satisfying thing to watch for me personally. So when you have clips of people shouting random crap in their pits and just looking like fools, to me, I'm like, dude, you guys look like goons, dude. Like, you don't look like no professional team. Even some of the semi-pro teams, like their rants and their hype shit, it's like, what the hell, bro? You look like a bunch of fucking goofballs.
I will say with some of that though, like there are some epic ones. Freaking LVL, they used to do Ric Flair's speech. I thought that was a dope one, just because you got the woos in there. I think that's hype. There's a couple good chants. Obviously, Dynasty's got their their legacy chant that they use. But yeah, no, that is a good point. You're not seeing a lot of like,
Well,
there's a line, and the line, and everyone here knows the line.
Shit on their mom and beat their dad. Like, what?
Yeah, we're gonna go to their
What are you
home after
talking
this.
about, dude?
We're gonna end them live in front of their whole family and extended grandparents.
Man,
It's like,
dude,
bro, what the fuck? You're playing
it's
paintball.
cringy, bro. Like
Hey,
we're
man.
playing paintball. This,
Shooting gelatinous balls at each other.
That's yeah. I Venmoed my buddy the other day. I was like, gelatin paintballs or gelatin capsules for a science project. That's all we're doing.
Dude,
That doesn't sound sketchy at all.
when people
No.
are like gangster in paintball, I'm like, bro, there's nothing gangster about shooting gelatinous
Bro, you
balls
ain't
at each
hard.
other, bro.
Bro, you ain't lying.
You ain't hard, dude. You're
There's
playing
nothing
paintball,
threatening
bro.
about gelatinous balls.
I mean, how they are off the field's one way, whatever. It's not my business, but when you're playing paintball, just have some respect for the game and be a little bit more respectful towards everything.
Yeah. No, and so I guess to the credit, the divisional side, you'll see a lot of that stuff, and ramp it up into the semi-pro ranks, that does start to get kind of weeded out a little bit more. So that's good. But yeah, like we're saying is, that's the type of stuff that, when you're at a local Seapool or something and, you see a team doing some shit, maybe say something, like, I mean, it's the type of thing that behavior starts from that really early stage of you getting into the sport. And, if you just keep it going the whole way, you're just, I don't know. It's almost kind of like
a sponsor. If I was a sponsor and I was looking at two different teams, let's say you had two teams, and on one hand, that team plays on Sunday every tournament, right? But they're very professional. They have, athletic builds. They just are like a good representation. They look good in paintball gear. And then you have another team who's just like kind of a mixed bag, a little rowdy, maybe a little off script a lot of times about the way they conduct themselves, looking a little raggedy. But they also play on Sunday every weekend. And you had to pick between the two. You're probably picking the more professional team, right, to have represent your brand.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
More than likely.
Yeah.
So, for these teams that, want to play paintball for free and get all this gear and crap, like maybe you should, think about your image and what kind of image you portray to, represent a brand.
I mean, and that's something that, you guys, I don't know how big that conversation is from Die, but there probably is a little bit of pressure from that of like, all right, you're a, you're a Die athlete.
They want you to represent Die and Die only. And I totally understood that and respected it. I didn't sign no contract or nothing, but I understood what it meant to be a representation of a brand. They didn't even have to tell me, bro. I already knew.
Yeah.
When I'm at the field, I'm wearing
it is kind of funny because I will give credit to paintball teams. Paintball players are some of the better ones at understanding how to shout out, their brands and their sponsors and, to talk about the companies that they use. Like, I mean, I don't know, like freaking what high school football team is like, shout out Rydell, shout out Nike, Air Jordan brand. Like, no one's doing that. But a D5 team at Seapool is like, yo, HK Army, they brought us some awesome shit. We love that. Like, I've seen those conversations happen. So I guess it's kind of along the lines of there is kind of some good things there that paintball's doing, but at, same time, you got to check what's the whole image look like. You're saying that shit, but then you're also saying, now we're going to fuck these dudes' moms up in the same sentence. And it's like, no, you just kind of counteracted everything you just did.
Right.
So, yeah. That's obviously a majority of our stuff tonight. We're definitely getting towards the end of the show. Looking over at time, I do have one other spot that I wanted to bring up tonight. When was the last time you guys watched Cops? Have any of you guys watched Cops recently?
Ooh.
Like I've seen it in the background of things, but I feel
Live
like
PD.
I haven't seen a recent episode. I feel like it's
canceled.
only been a rerun.
So
Yeah, I canceled my TV service.
okay, so totally get that. I think at this point, Cops is pretty much canceled now because YouTube exists and because of public access to body cam footage. Because I spent like 2 hours the other night just watching a channel that literally, this dude edits this shit so it's like a movie scene. Like he will take different camera angles, put them together so you see like the whole story play out. some of the highlights, a family fist fight with three brothers at Disneyland, which is a domestic violence dispute, apparently,
Love that
because
shit.
they're brothers. So they all had to be arrested. They all got trespassed from the park. The other cool thing was there was some body cam footage of like behind the scenes at the park. So that was kind of cool to see that shit you never see. Another one around Disney, there was a guy who tried to bring a 3 grams of Coke and his strap just into the park. And you obviously can't do that.
A good time.
Yeah, so the cops were like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, you can't open or concealed carry at Disneyland. Yeah, it's not allowed. Nope. So but the coup de grace, the best one that I watched that held my attention and I was like, this is fucking amazing, is I don't know how the situation started, but cameras rolling, cops rolling up on a scene. This like teenager is like crashing a car. Like he's actively like just backing up into this tree in like a driveway. Like obviously is not driving the car well. He, officer comes up on him, tells him to
flags
stop.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and obviously dude steps out. Instantly you can tell motherfucker's drunk. Like he's standing slurring around, looking through people. Like it's not a good situation. Cop comes up to him. He's like, hey man, like get the fuck out of the car. Do not run anyone over. Like get the fuck out of the car, get on the ground. And gets out, standing there looking at him. Eventually dude pulls out his taser, tases him. They get down on the ground. Everything's crazy. They scuffle for a little bit, but they're able to get him in cuffs. They get him up. For the next 10 minutes, and I shit you not, it is 10 minutes, this guy yells, I will kill you, my neighbor. I will kill you, my ninja. I will kill you, my insert whatever word you want to use for the N-word there, because that's what this man screams for 10 minutes in a row, to the point where the officers like break halfway through, because they're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, no, you're not. You're not going to kill me. You have no opportunity. You are not going to kill me. You are a white 15-year-old who is drunk. And so seeing that was just amazing. They finally get him in the back of the car. They turn on the camera to get him to transporting, because the whole time that he's on the way to the station, he is just screaming at the top of his lungs. Like, take a deep breath.
Oh God!
Take a deep breath. And so you could tell that officer was like, I want to make sure there's video of this so that I'm not like getting called into fucking custody somewhere when this guy says something happened. Absolute crazy scenario. But this is just openly available on YouTube. This is something that a camera crew would had to go out and record 20 years ago. But now, just because of the body worn cameras, because of the dash cams, we just have a full-on reality show that's happening on YouTube for free, pretty much. It's amazing.
Have you seen that one that's like really recent? It's kind of blown up, where the dude, the cop has a guy in the back of. There you go. The cop has a guy detained in his back seat. A fucking acorn from the oak tree falls on the hood of the car, and the officer thinks it's a gunshot. He immediately dives in the ground. He's like, shots fired, and then just fucking pulls out his gun and is just annihilating the person in the back seat.
And what's even more of a bitch move by that little fucking, I don't like that dude, bro. He says he's hit. Bro gets down on the ground, crawls around, and is like, I'm hit, and proceeds to keep dumping his mag into an unarmed dude who's just sitting in his cop car because of an acorn. So maybe that dude shouldn't be on the force, I just
or maybe
guys like that.
Need to get him a CS3 and get him out on the paintball field.
Maybe, man. I don't know.
God,
either way.
Let's get some body cams on the players, dude. That's what we need to do.
We need to steal Formula One's mass cam that they have. I don't know. Maybe you've not seen it. It's
I will be excited to wear
like
Pro
that
this year.
big. So I have no clue how like much it is, because the smaller things get, the more expensive they are. But yeah, no, that'd be cool to throw it in a mask if we eventually get access to one of those. But speaking of masks, you were wearing a dye last year. You wore HKs before that. Finally back to JT's.
Man, I'm going to the glory, dude.
Dude,
the JT
it's where everyone goes when we don't have to wear something worse.
Oh man, it's like I'm on Dynasty, but I'm not on Dynasty. I get to wear all the cool stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Jet Proflexes was like the first mask I had, so I'm excited to go back to that. I heard they're not the same, but I'm still excited that you can breathe.
Gotta get like a retro pair, an old school pair, because the plastic is a little different. It's not as like flexible anymore. It's a little more rolled. I wear a Flex 8, so it's a little different just in general. But yeah, I've seen some of the newer Pro Flexes and stuff like rolling up the like mask foam the little plastic is way harder. Like it's just a more resilient or like kind of tougher piece
I don't want
of
to get fucking shot in my
plastic.
mouth, bro.
It's not that bad. I've been
my
shot through the
advice is
vents.
Don't suck.
Well, that helps
Very
too.
true.
You know,
Sometimes I'll be standing there on the sidelines and I'll be catching some heaters, bro. So,
well, the best thing you can do at this point is just stay in the pits, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
Let the men work.
You're right.
Stay in the pits. Let me and Brando handle it.
Not even close.
We'll go out there and we'll.
I'm excited to play against you, J-Bo. I'm excited to play against you.
Big dogs hang out on the porch, man. If you're not a big dog, stay off the porch.
I look forward to playing anybody and everybody. Yeah, dude, definitely, dude.
Big dogs gotta eat. There's a lot of dog references we can make, but yeah, I mean, it will be exciting seeing you guys in the same division now.
Just seeing everyone, man. Just seeing everyone at the tournaments and cheering for guys and then wanting them to lose is the best, dude. I just love it.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
Seeing the change happen over, but I mean, yeah, I was just gonna say, this is something that's never happened. Is you Hatch and Brandon, to a certain extent, he came a little bit later, but they were always on the team that was kind of underneath you and a couple of these other guys who are now at Ology. But it'll just be cool to kind of see you guys playing against each other now, because I think it's always been that way, but it's never been that way in a NXL format, if that makes sense. It's always just been like scrimmages at Capital Edge and random street ball tournaments and stuff. Like it is kind of cool to see let's go see who's better, let's go compete a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think for me, my perspective a little different. It's just I'm just one player on a team, and I know all these guys, and I would love to shoot every single one of them and win the match, but I gotta work with my team to make that happen. And I'm sure I would expect them to bring their best game and try to beat us. And, that's just how it's going to go. I like the good matches. I like the 4-4s tight. Let's go to overtime. Like, I like those matches, man. I don't want a 5-0 nobody like that. I mean, yeah, I'm going to take those when I get them, but I would hate to 5-0 DMG. That's no fun.
Yeah.
Let's make it a match, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think you guys are going to.
Let's get some slimy shit going.
Last year's Ology didn't do it, so shit. I don't know if you guys are going to.
Did you guys play the Ology last year? You guys play?
I think we lost.
How'd that go?
I think we lost by 2.
Oh,
it was a close match. You guys did take the lead, but they were able to.
Was it 5-3?
Yeah, I think you guys went up.
I never played them.
Oh yeah, Brandon wasn't there for that tournament.
Oh yeah, that's when he wasn't there.
You played us when we had like 6 dudes.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I remember filming that match. You guys went up early, but they were able to adjust.
Hell yeah. I will make sure we bring more than 6 to Vegas. I will make sure.
Yeah, and if you only have 6, just go down the street and grab a 7th.
I mean, who is the roster right now for DMG? I know there's been some changes.
All right, so we have actual members on the roster that are going to for sure get playing time. So we have.
Damn. All right.
Okay.
Whoa! I'm not naming any names. I'm talking about the people that are like on the fucking team. Like we're for sure taking the tournament. So they have me, Brando, Cedar, Marv, Micah, Paul, AJ,
Caden.
That's it. Oh, and Caden. Yeah. I forgot about that. Goober.
Caden Ross.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
there you go.
That's
same
the
roster.
For sure roster.
So yeah, pretty much the same roster. I mean, only Logan dropping out because little gay boy. We can call him that because we're friends with him.
What happened to Logan? He was pretty good.
Straight pushed out.
He
got a taste of real life.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say Logan found a female, and yeah.
You got a single lick of life.
It sucks because he got a girlfriend, a month or 2 before World Cup, and he was playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's not
balanced, bro.
Now he's washed.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, those females have that effect on us at times,
Yeah, if anything, I'm actually kind of like judging you and Brandon for letting him make that decision. Like, come on, you guys are brothers. You're supposed to be like, come on, bro.
Whoa.
That was a missed opportunity for sure. You know, you could have stepped up and been a good teammate, but you guys failed at that. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you
agree with me, Jordan.
How the
This
season's gonna
fucking
go.
guy, bro. This fucking guy. Nah, dude. I was like, Logan, you are lame as hell for doing that. But
Yeah,
Did you
it's
say
all good,
lame?
bro.
Is that
We'll
the
be
word
back.
that you said?
no, I did not say lame. And I was like, I told him, I was like, dude, you really came this far just to quit like that. Like, wow, could not be me.
That's a good ass
He'll be
point.
back, dude. Everyone comes back. Come on now.
We'll see.
So over
Yeah,
under a
good,
year,
man.
or
Do you know how many people I've heard say they're gonna come back but never do? Do you know how many times I've heard that?
Avenir
I'm
said
at
he
the
was going to
point
come
now-
back. I haven't seen that motherfucker since.
I know, man. I'm at the point now where if you want to do it and you want to be around and you want to put in the work, you're going to show up. I'm not going to sit there and message you every week and ask you to come out. Like,
Exactly.
dude, I'm going to go out and get my work in, and that's
If you want to
just how
join
it's
me,
going
so
to be.
be it. If you-
Put in the work. Let's go. If you don't, then that's cool, bro. We're still friends. Just not going to play paintball with you.
Very true. And it's like, why
Hey.
why would we let someone that has been practicing back on the roster like that? You know, it's like it just wouldn't make any sense.
No, it sets for the guys that are on the roster. You know, it doesn't
Slap in
really.
the fucking face.
It does not send the right message to the team. Nope.
I agree. It's lame.
Yeah, I think you guys got Chim though. I think he'll keep guys in line and
I
he'll be
think-
fair and true to people, so it should be good.
Well, and I will say, you know, something. I'm going to try to talk about it vaguely because I don't want to give any names or anything away. But to DMG's credit, there was a player in this offseason who wanted to come play with you guys, who may have been helpful, may have not, you know, all that's in the air. But you guys declined him, or at least told him up front that there would be other responsibilities as a part of joining your team, which are just things that your guys' team has to do to get your sponsorship, to get, you know, the help that you guys do, and that he would be expected to do the same thing. Like, it doesn't matter what his name was or what he does, he would still have to come and do those things, because that's what it means to be on DMGs. You have to kind of deal with some of the stuff that comes along with it. So, you know, that was something that I thought was respectable from the guys this offseason, because they were like, look, we're not going to just give someone a free pass because they want to come show up. Like, if they want to come, then fuck yeah, we'll support them, but you got to do the same shit we do.
Mm. Yeah,
That's it.
and
It's a system.
and
Ryan.
that is it. And I know what's involved with committing to a team like DMG, so I didn't even entertain the idea of, because I know I can't uphold that commitment. Based
I
on
wasn't
my
talking
personal
about
life.
you, but yes, I mean,
No,
it's,
I know
yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
was.
I was-
Oh, that's fun. That's all good, dude. You guys will be just fine without me. You're good.
Very
You
true.
guys will be all right.
Well, fuck yeah, guys. I think we do got to bring this up to the end, so that way Jordan can get back to a little bit the rest of his night. I know he probably had a busy day at work and wants a little bit of off time before he's got to get up and go do it again. You got some 5 a.m. workout tomorrow? I know that's usually your schedule.
6. I got lazy. I'm 6 now. 6
See,
a.m.
I knew it. I knew it
6
would be
or
some
7.
early time.
It's 7 a.m. Just there's no one ever there at 7, so you get the whole gym to yourself.
Hell yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well,
know.
so we got to let him go, but we got to, bring this all together, put a little bow on this episode. So I need 2 things for that to happen. I need a cool guy of the week from Brandon. So how's that going to go, buddy? Do you have one ready?
I got it right. I just gotta copy the link. Boom. All right, this kid. Saw this kid. It reminded me of like old Call of Duty lobby days.
See this shit.
I'm gonna call him Rocket
Oh,
League
those
kid.
were savage, dude.
Dude, Rocket League kid, right here at a tournament, live audience, playing. The camera goes to him on the jumbotron. He has a sign up that says "Love to everyone," and quickly flips it over. Says,
I've
"Fuck your
seen this
mom."
one.
Dude,
No way.
Okay, I've
dude.
seen this TikTok. Yep, it's a good one. Shout
Dude.
out this kid.
shout
Anything
out
for
to
the
Rocket
clicks,
League
bro.
kid. Oh,
So yeah,
man.
no, he's a fan side in the audience. I'll throw the video in on that one because yeah, you have a good example there. I'll be able to grab that. But
Good thing they didn't record the audio on those old lobbies in the Xbox days.
oh, there'd be a
love
lot of
that.
canceled people in our
We'd be
generation.
canceled. Yeah.
Thank God they
I would
don't
not
like
be here.
record that shit. Thank God that it's like canceling came, after Modern Warfare 2.
After, yeah, thank God, we'd all be in some
We'd be
trouble.
fucked. We'd
Yeah.
be fucked.
It's probably a good thing I didn't make a YouTube early on in Call of Duty's life cycle. There would have been some suspect things out there. God damn, it was
Sweet.
For
a
sure.
lot different of a landscape back
Brutal.
in those days.
But it was okay.
Yeah.
It was
and we
it was
miss
the
it.
standard back
And
then.
we all miss it. Now you just get to watch, cops unload their fucking mag at an acorn.
Yep. And
That's what we get now. We don't get racial
Hell
slurs.
yeah.
We get cop
playing Call of
shootings.
Duty IRL, bro.
Yeah, dude,
That-
YouTube's
yeah.
just evolved.
The badge cam, bro. That shit is entertaining as fuck
Did
sometimes.
you say badge cam? Is there a
badge cam?
Oh, badge cam. I thought you said
What,
badge
is that what you're
Where's
gonna be
your
hooked up
mind
with
at,
on
bro?
Ology this year?
What the
Your
fuck?
badge cam?
Goddamn.
Yeah. I know there's like, the VR stuff, but come on, man.
Hell
God
yeah,
damn,
dude.
bro. Before the other thing we need to kind of wrap out this episode is we need a code word of the week from Hatch. So what's that going to be
Yep,
this
here we
week?
go.
man?
All right, so with J-Bo's new team, and if he's a fellow stabber like myself, not afraid to go get a fool. So I would say stabology. You know what I'm saying? The study of
What
stabbing.
the fuck? Okay.
Stabology, bro. The study of
I
stabbing.
like it.
How do you
Respect
spell that?
that, man.
Hold on.
Stabology, bro. Are you serious? Fucking conjunction word. Come on, bro.
That was my best guess
Right.
too, Brandon. I didn't have anything else
Come
for
on.
you.
Oh my god.
Sound it out, bro.
All right.
Good luck to everyone trying to spell that code word this week. We get a lot of bad spellings on it.
I hope every message I get is spelled wrong.
It probably will be. But let's see. Go and do the list. I think we got through the most of the rest of the stuff. We got a cool guy of the week. We got a code word of the week. Real quickly, just a quick reminder out there. Make sure you rate the show, subscribe to the show on the different ad platforms. So if you're on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, drop a little subscription or a follow button on those, and then also drop a rating. So 5-star on the 2 podcast platforms, and then just leave a like on YouTube. That'll help us out. Just spreads the show to other people. Lets them check out our great conversation with Jordan tonight. We appreciate him again for coming on. If you want to get more content from us over here at From the Sidelines, you can head over to the Patreon at patreon.com/Mafia_Productions. MAFIA_Productions is where you're going to find that. We got the bonus content, ad-free versions of the video. There will be people who listen to this podcast within 4 hours of it being recorded, and I will get their feedback because they do it every week. Shout out to those guys. You know exactly who you are, but they're all members over on the Patreon. So go head over there if you want to be a part of that crew. Get access to it as soon as it's available. We also have the merch. If you want to head over to XXV The Label, I've been wearing the Stabbers Don't Get Stabbed shirt. Speaking of stabbers, my freaking light is giving me some shout out, but we have that one. We also have the podcast shirt that Hatch has got on. So yeah, check all those out
today.
Yeah, good job. Check all those out over at xxvthelabel.com. We'll have the link down in the description. But yeah, go grab yourself some merch. Help support us over here on the podcast. Keep these shows on the air. And the other people who help keep our shows on the air is our lovely sponsors. So we got 3 of those tonight. We have weltsclothing.com. We got to talk about them. Down at Texas, they've got some great apparel if you want to go check that out. They've got some new baseball jerseys that they just dropped for the season, as well as other t-shirts, headbands. I know they just did a mask strap release, like a limited edition one. So stay tuned with those guys over there. They always are doing kind of special one-off drops and pieces. So weltsclothing.com, use code FTS to save some money over there. We also got NECTR Energy, great little energy pouch. You can throw it in your lip, kind of similar to a dip, but the big difference is there is no tobacco or nicotine in this product. It is just caffeine and neurotropics. Want to get a little buzz at work, kind of get your energy levels ready to go when you're in that midday slump. It's a great product to grab for that. Head over to NECTR.energy. Get some more information on all their great flavors: the ice mango, fresh mint, spearmint, pure berry blast. There's also the sour apple, I think it is. I think it's a green
Yes,
apple,
sir.
sour apple. One of
Green
those two.
apple.
They've got a lot of great flavors over there. You can go check them out and also get more information about the product. Like I said, at nectar.energy, NECTR.energy. Go get some more information. Use code Mafia Productions over there, all one word. And last but not least, we talk about them every week, Liquid IV. They've been with us since pretty much the beginning. We love them as a sponsor. And hey, go check out one of the greatest hydration products on the market. Transfuse, you suck. Just kidding. We love them. They got all the great flavors over on the website. Brandon's killing his lemon lime tonight, but they also got, golden cherry, watermelon, strawberry. They also have the
Anything you can
sugar-free
think of.
flavors, lemon lime, Concord grape. There's a white peach in the sugar-free as well. So if you need sugar or sugar-free, they've got those options over there. So go check out at liquidiv.com. Grab yourself a pack. Use the code Mafia_Moffitt. Save yourself 20% off at checkout. You can get it at Costco, Target, any of those places as well, but you won't get the 20% off. If you just yell Mafia_Moffitt at a checkout lady, they will look confused and they will probably try to get you in trouble for something. So don't do that. Go to the website, liquidiv.com. Use promo code Mafia_Moffitt. Save 20% off and get it free shipped to your door. It'll be right there waiting for you. Well, that is everything from me. me. That is all the great things I got to remind our audience about. Thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in to listen tonight. We've had a fun time. Jordan, you're a mainstay of the show. You're one of our most downloaded episodes is, our one with you. We always love when we get a chance to talk to you. It's usually a couple hours out of the night. But yeah, it's always a blast. And yeah, man, thank you again for coming on. Anything you want to leave us off with tonight? Any kind of final touches or final thoughts from you?
Yeah, first off, I mean, thank you guys for bringing me back on. I do look forward to seeing all you guys. I really hope that Sacramento DMG and you guys do really well this year. But I want to thank Team Ology, Tyler Smith giving me an opportunity to come aboard and try to make this something great. And shout out to, Lumni Labs and Impact Action Sports, where they mainly play out in Oregon. And then also KC Crusaders. And then obviously we're going to be wearing some JT gear. So shout out to them. I'm looking forward to using all their stuff there for some soft goods.
You're shooting Planet again this year, right?
I'm choosing. I don't think the team has a gun sponsorship going on or a deal, but I've chosen personally to shoot a Planet Clip CS3.
So you chose Planet.
I built a golden gun, dude. I got it finally, 007 status. Let's go.
There we go. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to try to get the kill count high on that one. So I'm looking forward to that gun. It rips. It's shooting really good. So, and I trust it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And then Violence as well, I believe, is going to have a hand in supporting Ology at some point here. So just really excited to get the season going and see where it goes. And maybe we can check back in at the end of the year and see how it all unfolded.
Well, hell yeah. We always love having you on the show, Jordan. And I mean, yeah, you're not getting out of this. We're going to make you come back on here at some point in the future. Thank you so much again for your time tonight, man. I mean, Hatch, Brandon, do you have any final thoughts for our guest tonight?
Excited to play your ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited because you're excited. I can't wait. I hope you guys play really well.
It's hard to fucking tell if you're fucking excited or not, J-Bo. You fucking.
It's all monotone. Yeah.
My heart's radiating with excitement. You can't tell that.
Okay,
I could never know by just the voice alone.
I can definitely tell now.
All right, and I'm down to trial the new Mask Vision camera that you're gonna set up and put in or body cam.
Yeah, we'll see if I can go steal one from Liberty Media or the guys who were behind Formula One.
Well, don't do anything illegal, but yeah, try to get your hands on one.
It's a little illegal.
Yeah, we'll see what we gotta do. Slightly sketchy. I'm good with that. All right, guys.
Always good.
We got to bring this podcast on home. This has been episode number 82 of From the Sidelines. I mean, it was an absolute blast. Thank you to all of our audience members for tuning in. We are going to be back next week. We got another great guest. I guess one last final thing. If you haven't watched it already, by the time this is released on the public platforms, I actually was on a episode of In the Pits podcast. So tomorrow night, that's going to be recorded live. So head over to In the Pits, his YouTube channel. It'll be over there. So yeah, go check that out if you haven't already, but if you have already seen it, no worries then. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up about that, and we'll see you next week for episode 83. For Stephen Hatch, for Brandon Brando Baird, my name is Ryan Mafia Moffat, and for our special guest, Jordan Boyum, we would like to say thank you, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bring us on home, Hatch.
Bye.
See you guys later.